Well, welcome back to Ascending in NetHack Overexplained. I first have a couple corrections to make, or one correction to make, really. So I was referring to the Gnomish Mines and Sokoban as mid-game, but it didn't really sit right with me. I checked with other players, and they agreed that early game really includes the Gnomish Mines and Sokoban. So I'm going to actually change this list a little bit. Actually, let me come back to that. The first thing I do want to talk about is how to save and restore. Just I sort of did this off stream. So if you're done playing for the day, like and you're left at the screen, what do? Well, you're gonna hit Shift S. And just to explain quickly, there is a quit command which will quit without saving. I actually won't show that now because you can probably find it if you need it, but it could be a source of confusion. So hit Shift S and it'll say really save, yes, no. Hit Y, it's going to bring you back to the menu, or actually if you're playing locally, you'll just leave the game. We're going to go ahead and restore the save, so just hit P for play. This is on NetHack at alt.org. This is restoring save file more, hit space. It says, Willkommen overexplained. Welcome back to NetHack. And you were restored to exactly where you were when you saved. So going back to this sort of early game, mid game divide, first I just wanted to talk about what we did last time. So early game goals, I think we did pretty well. I think we got a little bit lucky. So, survive. Yep, we survived. So check there. Get XP level 5. Check there. Get better AC. We're down to -3, which is excellent. So big check there. Explore all early levels. We've explored up to the Oracle. So check there. Get Excalibur. Check. So next, mid-game goals. This is not correct. Mid-game doesn't really start until after Sokoban. So we're just going to call this first branching choice, or first branching choice. And let me draw a little diagram here. So the way the dungeon works, I might get rid of this actually. So you start off with the basic dungeons of Doom. Let's change back to white here. Get rid of that. And so you start in dungeon levels 1, and you go down. Hey, Finally Craig, thank you for the raid. Much appreciated. Hope your Valkyrie run went well. And give Finally Craig a shout out. Give Finally Craig a follow if you aren't already. Hey, Andrew. Hey, American Elm. Welcome, everybody. So the first initial dungeon levels go from, let me shorten this up a little bit. So the first dungeon levels go from 0 to 2. Or 1. So you start off in dungeon level 1. And then at some point from, so I'm going to do this, make this look a little less ugly, but at some point, dungeon level 2 through 4, you have your first branch here, which is going to be the Gnomish Mines. So let me delete this. All right, so from 1 down to somewhere between dungeons level 2 and 4, and then from there, you have your first branch, which is the Gnomish Mines. Yeah, Andrew, I heard that's it's going to definitely change some things in 3.7. So Valkyries no longer start with a longsword in the latest beta of version 3.7, which will change strategies quite a bit once that is live. Yeah, so starting at dungeon level 2 through 4, you get your first branch. And actually, I'm going to move this down here. Which is Gnomish Mines. And meanwhile, the dungeon continues on down this way. And then again, in around levels 5 through 9, you're going to hit the Oracle, which we actually saw last time. I'm going to put that here. And when you see the Oracle, then you know the level below it is going to be the Sokoban branch. So here's the Oracle. And then the very next level, you get another branch here. It's going to be Sokoban. And so this is the first, after you've sort of accomplished these early game goals, you sort of have your first choice, and then the dungeons just continue down here. And generally, the decision point here is, do you go to the Gnomish Mines first, or do you go to Sokoban first? And I want to give you a couple touch points to make that decision. And if you're in chat and have ideas or reasons why you choose one over the other, let me know. First of all, if you don't have a lot of food, that usually pushes me to go to Sokoban first. So Sokoban is a branch that has guaranteed food on each of its levels. So if you are low on food, I would suggest going for Sokoban first and doing the Gnomish Mines second. I think I usually default to going to the Gnomish Mines first because they tend to be a little bit easier. Particularly after you have Excalibur, the Gnomish Mines tend to be fairly easy and a little shorter. So I guess my default would be go to the Gnomish Mines, but if I'm feeling very low on food, I would go to Sokoban first. So yeah, that's going to be, I think we're still in the early game. Again, just sort of correcting, I don't think we're to the mid game until after we go through the Gnomish Mines and Sokoban. But we're at our first branching choice, and we're going to try out the Gnomish Mines first here. Actually, I'll double check if I have a decent amount of food here. Oh, and this is interesting, actually. So another mechanic in the game we can point out. It says, you are lucky, full moon tonight. So a few days before and a few days after the full moon or the new moon in real life. So based on your server or your local computer's time, if it is a full moon or almost a full moon or just was a full moon, then you get some extra luck here. So you get a little extra luck. And luck is a hidden stat, so it's not going to be displayed here. You're not going to have any information about your luck. But what it does is it affects a lot of things. It increases your to hit chance. And just to go back, just one more, Luxy Dream points out that another decision point here. So I just said Sokoban if you're hungry, but another decision point here might be that if the Oracle is deeper, so let's say if the Oracle is more closer to like level 8 or level 9, Sokoban's going to be a lot more difficult than if the Oracle is earlier. And I think actually our Oracle was pretty early, like level 5 or level 6. So that's another thing, another consideration. The Gnomish Mine it doesn't is also gets more difficult if you're deeper, but the certainly a level 9 oracle makes Sokoban a lot harder. So that's a consideration. And the Gnomish Mines are less risky if the gnomes and dwarves are peaceful, right? So that's one of the reasons why, and we did discuss this last time, to choose the dwarf Valkyrie, because that makes the Gnomish Mines a lot easier. All right, so we are lucky. There's a full moon tonight, so we have that invisible luck stat is increased, which can give us a little extra to hit and affect some other things as well. I won't go into all the mechanics about that. And also if it was a new moon, or someone in chat mentioned Friday the 13th, all those things are tracked and give you luck penalties, and there's actually some other negative effects as well. And Gordian Tangles asks, does vanilla NetHack increase woodchuck spawning on Groundhog Day? But no, sadly, there are no woodchucks in vanilla NetHack. All right, let's look at our inventory here. We have like a small amount of food here. I think it's enough. It's not fantastic. And it is a dark first level on the Gnomish Mines. I mean, those two things might push me towards going towards Sokoban, which is if I remember correctly, a lower level Sokoban. Actually, we could look here. And again, we're going to do that # overview, OV. And if you look here, yes, the Oracle of Delphi is on level 5. So that means that Sokoban's going to be level 6, which is as early as you can get. So actually, maybe Sokoban is the correct choice in this particular situation. Early Sokoban, while we're still XP level 5, and we're a little low on food, and this mines level is dark. So I feel like maybe all those things together. I was going to do the mines first, but it's kind of pushing me towards doing Sokoban first. So we just basically took one step into the mines here. Our kitten killed a gnome, I think. But let's actually go back and we'll go up to Sokoban first. So I'm going to hit the less than symbol to climb back up the stairs. Our kitten was next to us, so they follow us. And now we're going to use that fast travel command to sort of get to dungeon level 5. And that again is the underscore, so sort of shift dash, and then shift period, which is greater than, to select the staircase down, and then period to actually travel to that location. We'll let our kitten get close to us, and we'll go down again. And we'll repeat that another time. And just hit S a few times here. Let our kitten come close, and down again, and we're back to the Oracle level. We didn't fully explore the Oracle level, and one reason for that is it tends to be a little bit more challenging than the levels before it. LuxyDream also points out that one reason to go to the Dwarvish Mines is to increase your armor class, because the dwarves tend to be very well armored with boots and helmets and Dwarvish mithril and things. But because we found a hobbit that had an elven mithril coat, we're actually pretty set for armor class, at least for this stage of the game. All right, so we're going to, and give me 1 second here. I just need to plug in my keyboard with a number pad. All right, sorry. So we're going all out to help newer players here. So there is a way to play the game without the number pad, but it's easier to play with a number pad if you're newer to the game. So we are actually playing the game with a number pad. I just need to make sure I have my keyboard here. I can use that. So that's a capital B, red capital B. I think I did talk about this last time. Giant bat being one of the dangerous creatures for the weaker classes, wizards and Taurus and things, particularly early on. I've died to bats a lot, but as a Valkyrie, and notice I just hit S there to let the bat come to us, and then we take a swing at it. And with Excalibur, it's not a problem. Oh, okay, this is interesting. The leprechaun is coming at us. So I don't know if maybe our kitten woke it up, but so it's coming towards us because we have gold in our open inventory. And if it gets close to us, it will steal that gold and teleport away, which can be annoying. Our kitten's keeping it away from us, so I think we're just gonna keep moving this way. And we can see it with our infravision because we're a dwarf. And so there's the downstairs to dungeon level 6 in the Dungeons of Doom. We grab this cloudy potion here. And again, my suggestion is whenever you come to a downstair, just go ahead and poke your head down. Oh, that's not the right key. And then come right back up. And the two reasons for that is the creatures that spawn on creation are locked to your XP level at the time, so they're a little less powerful. And also, if you fall through a trapdoor and you find yourself in that level accidentally, you'll know how to come back up. If I say the Dungeons of Dumb, it's because that's a thing in a Dungeons and Dragons game that I'm currently playing with Finitely Craig. Okay, so we killed a couple creatures there. The kitten killed one, we killed one. Garter snakes, which are they're not difficult. They're really not a problem at all. The only thing to mention about them is they will hide under items. So you might see one disappear, and if you do, it may have just slipped under something on the ground there. Oh, this is interesting. So it's a chest. So it's our first chest. There was another garter snake, and our kitten bit it and killed it. And Gordian Tangle asks if this is a local build. This is, I'm playing on NetHack at alt.org. So we're playing on a server. So this is 3.6.6. You can actually push the V key. Yeah, so if you push the V key, it will actually show you what the version of NetHack is you're currently playing. And Lexi Dream points out that when garter snakes spawn on level creation, they will always have an item under them, which is interesting. So if you see a lot of items, that might be why, which is something I did not know. All right, so we have our first chest here. Use the colon command here just to look under my feet. You see it here, a chest. And so we need another command here, which we haven't used before, which is the L key for loot. So L, there's a chest here, loot it. And we'll say Y for yes. You carefully open the chest. More. Do what with this chest? And then this big menu comes out here. So you can look inside it, take something out, put something in, do both things, stash one item into the chest, etc. We're just going to hit O for take something out. And there are 378 gold pieces here. So we'll hit the $sign to select that, and we'll pick up the gold. And this is another big dark room. I don't think I mentioned it because I think we saw one before, but and we're still looking for Sokoban. So, oh, sorry, the Sokoban's not going to be here. Sokoban's going to be on the next level. So we have to get down to dungeon level 6 to find Sokoban. But I'm going to go ahead and finish exploring. Explore this level. I'll actually hit the numpad 5 and then to the right here. It's going to stop us right now because we begin to feel hungry. So we're hungry, so we'll hit the E key to eat. You can hit question mark to figure out what you have, and then capital B here, slime mold. So slime molds are always good to eat. They're your fruit. They might have a different name if you've configured fruit to have a different name. So again, numpad 5 and right, just move all over here. We'll finish exploring this level. So I'm going to hit numpad 5 and right arrow, go in this direction. This is another garter snake. Now that was another command here. You hear a strange wind is another sound hint that you might get. I believe, and is that an oracle hint? I'm actually not sure. We actually found a trap here. So I don't think we've seen traps before. Or actually we saw a bear trap, didn't we? This is a hole. So this is a type of a trap that you'll just see. It's not hidden. Yeah, so Andrew confirms that the strange wind means that you're on the oracle level. So there's a hole. The hole will drop you down 1 or possibly more levels. And yes, it can be created by creatures zapping wands of digging. And we have a tripe ration here, which is an interesting piece of food. So it's something that pets really like to eat. Carnivorous pets like cats and dogs. So I like to have one on me early on, at least, just in case you run into a large cat or a large dog, something that might be a little dangerous. You can actually use the tripe ration to tame them. That garter snake had an emerald potion. And we're going to go back to the downstairs here. Kitten's fighting something. Not sure what. Can't see it. And there's that leprechaun again. So the leprechaun's going to come towards us. So we don't have a bag or anything to stash our gold in. What we can do is we can hit T for throw and hit the $ key to throw all our gold. And then we'll throw it behind us like that. Immediately, the leprechaun starts to run away from us because their behavior is to avoid players who are poor and to pursue players that have money. So we just sort of trapped that leprechaun in the corner of that room, and we found 102 gold pieces and a brass lantern. So that's actually really nice. A brass lantern is a light source. So we'll pick that up with the comma key, and then we'll go back and pick up our gold again. So that dark level in the Gnomish Mines is going to be a lot easier to explore with a lantern like that. So let's go, we'll hit numpad 5 and the left, and we'll run over towards the downstairs here. And we'll wait for our cat, our kitten to come over here. And we'll go down to dungeon level 6. So I'm seeing S a bunch of times, and then we hit shift period to go down. All right, so here we are on dungeon level 6. And it's the level below Oracle, the Oracle level. So we know that Sokoban is here. And what we're looking for is a second set of upstairs. So those are the stairs that we just came from. And we're looking for another set of stairs that are also going up. All right, so here's a new creature, I believe. Actually, we might have talked about this. I think we talked about homunculus. So this is a homunculus. They put you to sleep with their bite. So they can be dangerous without sleep resistance, which we don't have, and particularly in combination with other creatures. But we can take a swing at it, and we can kill it pretty easily with our Excalibur. And there we go. So right away we find the second upstair right here. So we can just go up there and start Sokoban. Now there's a debate about whether to bring your pet with you when you're doing Sokoban. Oh, and here's a horse of some sort. I think we did see one last time. I think we saw a pony. This is another pony, so they're not terribly strong. We can probably kill this pony without too much trouble. It does hit us a couple times, a couple points damage. We kill it, and then the kitten eats the pony corpse. So whether you bring your cat or dog to Sokoban with you is a debate. I'm sort of torn. I think the cat can be helpful in finding some of the creatures you might find there, but it can also really get in the way. So I think I will leave our kitten behind. We do have a tripe ration. So what happens is if you leave your pet on a floor by themselves, is they start to lose tameness. And so after a period of time, your kitten, if you're not on the same level as your tame kitten or dog or other pet, they will become peaceful. So they'll no longer be tame. And then if you leave them for even longer, eventually they'll become hostile. But I think we're not going to be up there for too long. And we're going to go ahead and leave the kitten and head up without the kitten. So this is Sokoban. So Sokoban is a branch off of the Dungeons of Doom, and it's a puzzle game as well. So here we have a couple of new things here. We have these zeros here, which are boulders. And then you have these gray traps here, which are pits. And so the idea is you have to push these boulders into the pits so that the pits will be filled, and then you can walk across them and get to the upstairs and get to the next level. So when you're thinking about Sokoban, there's just a few things you have to think about. You never want to push a boulder against a wall because then, in general, if you think about it, if this boulder was here against the wall, I would never be able to push it because I can't get on the other side of it. I would never be able to push that boulder out again in order to move it where I want it to go. You definitely don't want to push boulders into corners. So if you can, avoid those things, generally you're doing pretty well. And I do want to point out here, I will show you the solutions fairly slowly here, but if you're looking for help, there are Sokoban solutions on the wiki. So that's one way to go. If you're looking for just like looking for a walkthrough, you'll find them here. And you'll see that every Sokoban level has two variants. So like this one here is Sokoban level 1A, and then level 1B would be a little bit different. If you click on Sokoban level 1A here, it will actually give you a total strategy to walk through. Another way to practice this and also to give you solutions is if you go to that annotate website. So this is nethackathon.org/annotate. You'll see that there's a Sokoban link. If you click that, then there's going to be a way to practice this. So you can actually practice this in your browser ahead of time. So here I could actually move. Let's see. I think I need to turn off my Vim keys here, maybe. Does this actually work? Yeah, okay. So now if I use the numpad, I can actually move this guy around, and I can try out my moves ahead of time. You could actually have this in the side and try things out. And then if you make a mistake, you just hit R and restart it. You can also check out the best times and best turn counts down here. So you can see, what do people do if they're trying to do this in the fewest number of turns or the best time. And you can actually click the replay here and actually watch to see what those players do. You can hit the reverse here to actually go down to quarter speed if you really just want to slow it down, or you can pause it. So this is another way, just sort of if you want to see how other people have solved Sokoban. You can practice it yourself, and you can also just replay other people's tactics. So with that in mind, I don't know if it's particularly interesting for me to spend a lot of time on Sokoban, but I will sort of talk through, or I'll walk through the strategies fairly slowly. So we're going to push this boulder down, and then we're going to push this boulder over against the other one. You'll see here there is a food ration on the ground. So there's guaranteed food on each level of Sokoban. So that's going to keep us alive. You can leave those 4 boulders there for now, and push this boulder down to make a T with these other boulders. There's also a guaranteed wand on each level of Sokoban. So wands are that slash symbol. And we found a steel wand. If you look in your inventory here, you'll see that there's a separate section for wands there. It's R, a steel wand. And what I would suggest doing is that immediately when you pick up a wand, you should do what's called engrave test it. So that means you're going to write something on the ground with your finger in the dust, and then you're going to write something else on the ground with the wand. And a lot of times the wand will give you a message, and that will give you a clue about what that wand might be. So engrave is Shift E, and then we'll ask you, what do you want to write with? So if you remember from the time we unequipped our sword, the dash was your bare hands. So we're actually going to use the dash here for our finger. You write in the dust with your fingertip. And we can just write, you can write anything here. You could write X. X's, this will actually maintain a conduct, but we're not doing conducts this time around. So you're going to write in the dust. And then we're going to Shift E again. What do you want to write with? Question mark. And we'll do R, the steel wand. And it says the engraving on the floor vanishes. More. Write in the dust with the steel wand. What do you want to write in the dust here? We don't need to write anything. So we do waste a charge. Wands come with a fixed set of charges. And when you engrave with them, you do lose one. So vanish means that this wand is one of 3 things. It's going to be either a wand of make invisible, a wand of teleportation, or a wand of cancellation. So what you can do, and we can actually narrow that down by zapping it. But in the meantime, what I would recommend doing for wands that cause things to vanish is we're just going to name it vanish. So again, we did go through this before. You do a Shift C. What do you want to name? O for the type of an object in the inventory. We're going to call R. I'm going to call a steel wand. I'm going to call it steel vanish. So now we know that that wand causes the writing on the ground to vanish. Zen Birding asks, what happened if you die during this tutorial run, speed run back to an equivalent place? Yeah, I think we would do something like that. I would probably just get another game to the same basic area and continue from there. All right, so there's 2 more food rations here, so we're actually pretty flush with food now. Next thing you want to do is actually go to this corner, push this boulder up, and we're going to fill the first pit. Then we can push this boulder up and fill this pit. There's a giant bat there. Now, one thing which to point out here is you can actually walk through these pits. If you really want to, you could just walk through here. So I'm going to walk over, actually kill this bat. We missed it, huh? We hit it. There we kill it. And you can actually just walk out of this pit, and then we could actually just walk through all these pits. If you're trying to maximize your time, like speed-wise, you could do that. You're going to take damage, but I will go through how to actually solve this for real. There are 2 guaranteed scrolls that are going to be in this location on the first level of Sokoban. And those scrolls are always going to be scrolls of earth. And what scrolls of earth do is they create boulders in in your square and every square around you. So sort of like a 3x3 area, they create boulders. And so they give you 2 scrolls of earth, just in case you mess up and you push some boulders into corners, or if you destroy boulders, you can always use this scroll of earth to create more boulders. It is, however, considered cheating. Hey Vipin, welcome. So there are a few things that you do in Sokoban which are considered cheating. Reading scrolls of earth, breaking boulders, squeezing into spaces, and I'll show you that. These are all considered cheating. And if you do that, you get a luck penalty. So we did talk a little bit about luck, seeing as this is a full moon, and we start off with a luck bonus. But if you cheat in Sokoban, you're going to get a luck penalty. Eventually, that luck penalty will go away. So luck will always tend to go back to 0 if you don't have any items to prevent that. So if you have like a positive luck or a negative luck, not including the full moon, but for other reasons, and you don't have any item to prevent it from returning to 0, your luck will always slowly return back to 0. So anyway, on the first level of Sokoban, you know that there are 2 guaranteed scrolls of earth. So again, we're going to Shift C, call O, the type of item in the inventory, and we're going to call this Velox Neb scroll, so it's S. We're going to call it Earth. And then over here, there is a scroll of Earth and a cream pie. All right, so we're going to walk back out of here. We're just going to walk through these pits, and we're going to finish solving this. So we're hungry again, so we're going to hit E, and we'll go and eat. Let's eat that cream pie. So it's a V. This cream pie is delicious. And Lexi Dream points out something that's important. We haven't actually talked about prayer yet. I'm thinking I should probably do, because we've been pretty lucky so far, but I should probably do an additional video going over bad things that can happen. So getting lycanthropy, or being very low on hit points, or different bad things that could possibly happen to you. And one of the ways you can get out of those situations is through prayer. If you have negative luck, your prayer is likely to, or even guaranteed to, fail. So you don't want to pray if your luck is negative. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just finish this. We'll solve it like this. These boulders all are pretty easy to complete. And then we can push it that way. Now this one's, is still not that hard, but you have to remember to push this boulder to the right here first. Then you need to go around, push this boulder down, and then over. And that way you're keeping all those other boulders in a state where they can be solved as well. And then you can just, your choice here. So we could do this one down and over. And we're hungry again, so let's go ahead and eat. I think we're going to eat some food rations now, so we'll eat one of our 3 food rations. And we're going to finish this pit here. And then we'll have 3 more. And there's another food ration under here. Actually points out another, important thing about Sokoban. There could be items hidden under the boulders. So even after you complete and finish the level, you want to check under the remaining boulders to see if there was an item hidden under there, particularly if you haven't found the wand yet. It says a monster behind the boulder. Perhaps that's why you can't move it. So we need to just wait a couple times, then we can move it over. Ooh, okay. So this is important. Soldier ants. This is one of the creatures that ends a lot of games early. They are very dangerous. They're also have a poisonous sting. In fact, we should probably start a list of. We should probably start a list here of creatures that tend to kill characters early. Early game dangers, let's call it. I can't remember if we've really run into anything super dangerous so far. This might be the first thing that I really consider super dangerous. Soldier ants might be the most dangerous thing you find at this level. So yeah, so soldier ants are very fast. So they have multiple attacks. They have a bite and a sting. Their sting is poisonous, so it could deal damage to your strength. It could also kill you if you're unlucky. Now, if you see soldier ants and you are not strong, what I would suggest that you do is you use what's called the E word. So we did engraving. We did engraving already. There's a special word which is Elberth. Elberth is in the lore of the Lord of the Rings. And writing Elberth on the ground is successful about 3/4 of the time, I think. And if you write Elberth on the ground, then the creatures will tend to run away. So let's say if we entered this level and our armor class was, say, like 5 or 6, and we didn't have Excalibur. Killer bees, yeah. Killer bees is another one. Those are another A. They're they're a yellow A. Actually, fire ants can also be really nasty if you don't have fire resistance. So these are all team A. In fact, I could probably put here their characters with the right colors, or close to the right colors. Let's see if I can actually find the right color here. I don't know if it's going to let me select the color for this individually. So, all right, we're not going to do that. But they're all team A. Tangles asks, would having an easy way to abuse wisdom open up any exploits that you can think of? I think that's a good question for chat. I don't know anything offhand. So let's pretend that you came into Sokoban, or maybe you entered the Oracle level and you found soldier ants early and your armor class wasn't good. So this would be a good time to use Elberth. So what you do is you do the Shift E again. What do you want to write with? You're going to write with your finger. So that's the dash. And you write exactly like this. Elbereth. 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 And it needs to be exactly right. And you hit enter. And there you see right there, the soldier ant turns to flee. Use the Shift : symbol there, Shift : You see something is written here in the dust. You read Elberth. About 3/4 of the time, you'll write it correctly. The rest of the time, you'll see that some letters will be messed up. It won't actually work. And it'll be like, ELDERETH or something. So you cause that soldier ant to flee, and then what you do is you actually just leave. Go to the nearest stairs and just leave. Now, that's what you do if you're not very strong. We actually are pretty strong. We have Excalibur. Our armor class is decent. So we're actually going to go kill that soldier ant. But I did want to show you how you can potentially get away. Now, there are a couple of things about Elberth, writing Elberth, that you need to know. One is that it's temporary, so we could do it again here. All right, so we succeeded again. We can see it says Elberth, but then if we wait here for a little bit, it's eventually going to stop working. So it worked again, but if I keep waiting, at some point it's going to start to degrade. Another thing to point out is you cannot attack, or you should not attack off of Elberth. So if you are standing on Elberth and you attack a creature, you're actually going to cause Elberth to fade, and you're also going to get a luck penalty, I think, and an alignment penalty as well. But alignment penalties are not as serious as luck penalties. Yeah, so that Elberth is sticking around for a while. But if I sort of, yeah, okay, so I walked off of that, walked back on it, and right away you see here that we've smudged it. So if you walk across it, you're going to smudge it. So we smudge these Elberths away, and then we're going to wait for that soldier ant to come back. And now we're going to fight it. Right, we hit it, it bites, it misses, so the sting missed. And you'll notice, like, right away, it did 11 points of damage to us. So that's a pretty serious amount of damage. And we do kill it the second time. The other thing about soldier ants is they often come in packs. So it's likely that there's more than one. It's not guaranteed there's more than one, but often there are more than one. So, should you eat a soldier ant corpse is the question. And we're going to actually refer to the wiki here because there's a couple of things I do want to talk about. First of all, look here, bite does 2d4 damage, sting does 3d4 damage, and is poisonous. So very, very dangerous. Oh, this is actually lower than I thought, was thinking. So where do you see if they're safe to eat? Does it just say here? Yeah, here it says soldier ants are poisonous to eat. So soldier ants are poisonous to eat, but also they convey poison resistance 20% of the time. And so the question is taking poison damage, is that worth a 20% chance of getting poison resistance? And I actually think that's probably a no. Killer bees are a little better. I think they have a 33% chance. So like I normally would eat a killer bee. They have a 30% chance. So that's enough better. That'd be likely to eat a killer bee, but I'm sort of less likely to eat a soldier ant. Oh, actually, did we get poison resistance? I feel like we might have gotten really lucky. Let's take a look at our notes here. Yeah, we did. We already got poison resistance. I think we ate a shrieker and got poison resistance like really, really early. So this is a very lucky run. So we can actually eat this. I'll just show you. Eat it, yes. Soldier ant tastes okay. You finish eating the soldier ant corpse. Andrew also points out that with the speed of the soldier ants, you might get hit with that bite and sting multiple times in a row before you can even act. So they're extremely dangerous. Yeah, so we have poison resistance already, so it doesn't matter. But that would be a decision point where I would think, if I didn't already have poison resistance, I might eat a soldier ant. Yeah, it would be... So what poison damage does is it will damage your strength. So we go. Welcome to experience level 6. So we have 18.02. So if we take less than 2 points of poison damage, we're actually still going to be at 18, which is still pretty good. If you have, 18 or less strength, then each point of poison damage is going to be like a bigger deal. So I'm going to go ahead and check out behind these boulders and actually push them down. Now that we've solved this level, we'll push them down like this and just make sure there's nothing underneath there. Now, another thing, we have this wand that makes things vanish. And we just picked up a couple of scrolls of earth. So one of the ways I like to test this wand that makes things vanish is I will actually drop one of the scrolls of earth. We'll drop S, I guess. I'm actually going to zap the wand at it. So it is, again, R. So we're going to hit the Z key for zap, and then R for R. And we're going to zap in the right direction toward that scroll. And so there's three things that can happen here with wands that vanish. Either the scroll vanishes entirely, which means that this is a wand of teleportation. The scroll stays where it is and is still a scroll of earth, in which case it's a scroll of make invisible, or the scroll stays where it is and becomes a blank scroll, in which case it's a wand of cancellation. Sorry, did I say wand of make invisible? Yeah, so it's either wand of teleportation, which it is, because it made that scroll disappear, wand of make invisible, in which case the scroll stays as is and isn't changed, or wand of cancellation, in which case the scroll becomes a blank scroll. So because it's teleportation, that scroll was just teleported somewhere on this level. So we'll find it over here and we can pick it up again. And now we can hit that Shift C, O, R, and we're going to call this teleportation. Because we know for sure that that's a teleportation wand. And teleportation wands are extremely useful. They can teleport yourself, or they can teleport other monsters. Now, they can teleport yourself sort of with an asterisk, though. There can be various levels in NetHack which are no teleport levels. You can actually see it on the wiki. So, for instance, we can go to Sokoban here. And you'll see they'll have, like, in different levels, they'll have this little key, bones, mappable, teleportable, diggable, etc. And you'll see that teleportable is no for Sokoban. So in Sokoban, you can't teleport around. So you can't teleport yourself in Sokoban. You can still teleport other monsters. So if you were say stuck with a soldier ant next to you, and you were going to die next turn, you could actually zap it with a wand of teleportation and teleport it away, even if you're on Sokoban, which is a no teleport level. I'll try and remember to mention the levels that are no teleport, but generally it's things like quest levels, special levels, not Sokoban and other special levels. So yeah, so teleportation, very, very useful. Let's move on. We're going to go up to dungeon level 4. One thing to mention is creatures get harder the further into Sokoban you get. Even though the dungeon level is going down because you're going upstairs, you're going deeper into the dungeon as far as the monster generation is concerned. So for this one, you're going to start by pushing this boulder over, and then you can go down and sort of into here and push this boulder over. We found the wand. And I think Luxydream mentions here the specific numbers. So each Sokoban level has 4 food items, 1 ring, and 1 wand. So actually, I don't know if we found the ring on the previous level. We have a couple rings, so we probably did find it. So here's the wand for this level of Sokoban, and we'll repeat that engrave process. So capital E for engrave, dash. We'll just do XXX here, and then again E, question mark to see what it is. It's a capital C, so Shift C. And this one just identifies itself. So it says a lit field surrounds you. Do you want to add to the current engraving? We'll say no. And so if it says the wand of light closed and fades. So this is one of the wands that automatically identifies itself when you zap it or engrave with it. So we have a wand of light. So wands of light create a lit area around you. So in dark rooms or in the Gnomish Mines, you can use a wand of light to light them up if you don't have a lantern or other things to light up the areas. So next we want to push this boulder to the right here, and then we'll push this over here. Now, one thing about Sokoban levels 2, 3, and 4 is these are no longer pits. So if we take a look at them, these are actually holes. So you can't do that trick, which I pointed out that you could possibly do on Sokoban level 1, where you could just walk through the pits and just take some damage. If you go through the holes, you're going to drop down to the previous Sokoban level. So we need to use the boulders here in order to get to the stairs. All right, so we're actually going to go up and around. We'll pick up this. It's a fortune cookie. Fortune cookies are interesting in that they're considered treats for pets, so you can use them to tame things. Also, they have messages in them. So it's going to solve this room. This room's pretty easy now. And Andrew points out that you can't even jump or fly over the holes in Sokoban. They'll pull you down. So here's another. I would put this one on the list for early game death. Probably not for a Valkyrie, but maybe for other characters that aren't quite as strong. This is called a Roth. I think we saw a Roth last time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about them and all the different pronunciations for them. They're slow, but they have multiple attacks, and they can be dangerous, but not for a Valkyrie. So we're going to let that Roth come over to us. We're going to hit it, and we get a new message here. It says, "You feel more confident in your weapon skills. You hit the Roth." So what does that mean? Well, there's a hidden skill system. Weapon skills and spell skills, and by using those things, by casting spells or by using your weapon and by hitting things with your weapon, you actually you learn and you get more, your skills increase. So that's in another extended menu. So if you go to hash or pound enhance, EN, it's going to come right up, hit enter, and then you'll see a menu here, pick a skill to advance. And you'll see that there's no letters here except for next to longsword. Right now we have a basic skill in longsword, but if you hit the letter here, A, it says you are now more skilled in longsword. If you go back into that enhance menu, so we'll open that up again. Now if you look down here at longsword, we were basic and now we're skilled. So we started out with basic skill in dagger and longsword as a Valkyrie, and now we're skilled in longsword. So that increases our damage and our 2-hit. And we can do that for free without wasting a turn here. So we did that right next to this monster without the turn counter incrementing. So we didn't incur an attack there. All right, we're going to swing again at this Roth with our improved attack ability. We hit it, and we get another free swing here, and we kill it. So there's the Roth corpse and 2 violet gems. They're safe to eat, so we'll go ahead and eat it. And there's another one, because they generally come in packs. So we'll stop eating. We'll let this one come over, and we'll hit it again. So it hits, misses, and then we kill it. And there's another gem here, and we'll eat this corpse here. And I guess we'll pick up these gems for now. We did we know that that black gem is at least valuable because we identified that last time. And here's the third growth. We killed that one as well. So they're pack animals. They come in packs. Let's take a look at this K here. It's a kobold shaman. So this is another kobold. They're not particularly dangerous. Shamans in vanilla tend to be... They do have some effects which can be annoying, but they tend to be not dangerous. We'll see if we get stunned or anything from this shaman, which would be one of the things that would happen. So the kobold shaman casts a spell at you, get a slight headache, so we took 2 points of damage from that. And swing at it, we hit it, we miss it. Points at you in curses, so like nothing happens. And then we kill it. And like all other kobolds, kobold shamans are poisonous. So that's not a big deal. There is a leprechaun here. Now, because we're in Sokoban and it's a no teleport level, you can actually fight leprechauns pretty without any trouble here because they can't teleport away. So it's going to steal our gold, but we can just chase it down and kill it. And actually, we kill it with our first swing. So it had some gold and a scroll labeled Dian Fools, which we don't know what that is. And there's leprechaun corpse, which you don't want to eat. Leprechaun corpses might give you what's called teleportitis, which means you'll start teleporting around uncontrollably. All right, so we're going to push this boulder down. You'll notice that a bunch of O's have appeared. In fact, it looks like some of them are on top of the holes. And these are black O's, so these are actually some of the more dangerous ones. They're Urukai, and they come in fairly large packs. And also, actually, Urukai should probably be on the list here. For one reason and one reason only. So Urukai have often come with poisonous arrows. So if you don't have poison resistance, the Urukai will start to shoot arrows at you. Those arrows might be poisoned or are likely to be poisoned. And there's a chance that poison, if you don't have poison resistance, will kill you instantly. So we do have poison resistance, so I'm not actually too worried about this. We were very lucky to get that poison resistance early. So we can just go ahead and push this boulder over. They might actually shoot at us here. Yeah, here we go. The Urukai shoots 2 poisoned orcish arrows. The first poisoned arrow hits the Urukai, so it's one of these is shooting past other Urukai. So they're hitting their friends, actually. So they're still shooting more arrows, but it's just they're hurting themselves. So at this point, we've cleaned out this room as much as we can easily. So we're going to leave these 2 boulders here. We're going to go back to this previous room here and start to push boulders up and over and down. I think we had one more hole here that we can fill in. And now we have access to this first Urukai. Looks like they've already killed one of their friends by shooting arrows. So we can just go and swing at this Urukai and kill it. Now, there's stuff here that we're not going to be able to get to because it's on top of a hole. So right now we see there's an orcish cloak, for instance, right on top of there. And maybe we want that. So there's 2 things you can do to pick up things that are on top of holes here. One is you can turn auto pickup on for the item types that you want to pick up, and then step on top of the hole, and you will auto pick up those items and then fall through the hole. The other thing you can do, and I would do this for the first few levels of Sokoban and not for the last one. I'll talk about that when we get there. Is you can actually kick these items off the hole, and they'll actually fall through the holes below. So we can hit K, and we'll start kicking stuff off of here. There's some iron shoes. There's a shield, and we can just kick all this stuff, actually these gold pieces are getting kicked all over the place. This is actually a new feature in 3.6 that when you kick coins, they actually go all over the place. Well, actually, let me use this as an opportunity to show you the other, because we have auto pickup on for coins. So if we step on top of this hole, we're actually going to pick up the coins, and then we'll fall through the hole. And here's that orcish cloak. But actually don't have a cloak right now. So we'll pick that up. We could put it on, but it might be cursed. And there's a shield. We already have a shield. In fact, we have a very good shield, that +3 small shield we started with. So we're not interested in that. So let's go back up, or down, or up rather. And we'll continue this level. I'm just going to double check here. Yeah, there is a pit here that we still need to push a boulder over to. So we'll pick up the next one here. We'll fill that in, and now we can kill the next orc. And another 2 poison orcish arrows, and kills another Urkai. I'm going to kick these blue gems off of the hole here. The short sword, coins. Maybe we'll step on here. I don't know. Oh, okay. So this is a new creature. At least I don't remember talking about this before. Oh no, we already used. No, actually, I don't think we did. We ever did with something with a white unicorn. So this is a white unicorn. Unicorns can be dangerous, but they come in 3 varieties. So they're black, gray, and white unicorns. So white unicorns are lawful, gray unicorns are neutral, and black unicorns are chaotic. If the unicorn is the same alignment as you, so if you're lawful and as we are, and it's a white unicorn, then they're always peaceful. So you'll actually see here, it says peaceful white unicorn. So they're actually not dangerous. And there's actually one thing you can do with unicorns, which is you can throw them gems, and they'll actually will identify them for you. Let me just show you how that happens. So like we have these 2 violet gems. We don't know if they're valuable or if they're worthless. What we can do is you want to call them. So we'll actually do Shift-C, O, and then Shift-F for the 2 violet gems. And we'll call them valuable ? We don't know if they're valuable or not. And then what we'll do is we'll toss one of them to this unicorn. So we'll do a T for throw, Shift-F for one of those gems, and we'll throw it towards that unicorn. And so you'll see the white unicorn catches the gem called valuable ? The white unicorn is not interested in your junk, and then the unicorn would normally teleport away, but in Sokoban can't. So now we know, because it said that message, the white unicorn is not interested in your junk, we actually know that this is not a valuable gem. It's actually worthless glass. So we will actually do Shift-C again. And now we're going to actually choose a new item here, which is D, the type of an object on discoveries list. So if you previously named something and you want to change it, you're actually going to want to select D here. And this is going to bring up some pages here. And on page 2, you'll see a violet gem called valuable ? So F, we'll call this worthless, or we'll call it glass. All right, so now we know that this gem here is worthless glass. Let me just drop that. So you do the same thing with some other gems. Actually, there's a blue gem here. So potentially, if we can line up with the unicorn again, looks like we can actually do Shift-C O, that blue gems, which is Shift I, we'll call it blue valuable, question mark. And make sure we throw the right thing here, which is Shift I. Throw it to the, catches the gem called blue valuable, not interested in your junk. So it actually is going to leave it behind. Actually, another way you can call these gems, if it's on the floor there. Did we pick it up? Oh, we did pick it up. Okay. Actually call it in our inventory here. So the blue one, Shift I, is blue class. Now let's drop it, Shift I. All right, so that's enough fun with the unicorn. Another thing just to mention there is luck, which we talked about. You can get luck by throwing valuable gems to the unicorn. They'll keep them. But like those gems we know that are valuable, we could use those to increase our luck if we needed to. But as I said before, your luck will return to 0 unless you have a special item, a luck item. So it might not be worthwhile to do that until you get a luck item. All right, here's a straw golem. They're by the time you see them, they're usually not too dangerous. We do have a couple of attacks here, so we'll fight it and we kill it. Yeah, I'm using it's called Keycaster to show my keys on the screen here. So I'm going to push this over here and bury some of that gold. That's fine. And we'll go get the next boulder here. We'll fill in the next hole. And now we have another Urukai here we can kill and go and kick their items off. Some more shoes. There's some blue glass, another orcish cloak. And we've revealed the next hole, so we can go back and get another boulder here. So now we got these two in a column here. We can push one of them over, just one, and then we get around behind it and push it down. And we can go fill in the next hole. Get to the next Urukai, we'll kill it. There's a scroll there, so we'll kick that off. In fact, we'll kick all this stuff off until you just see the hole. I'll go back and get the next boulder. You'll notice the orcs are picking up and putting on weapons and armor. So here's that acid blob again. So you'll notice we have a rust-proof Excalibur now. So we're not so worried about Excalibur getting rusted here, but potentially our helm might get rusted. So we could actually take that off with a Shift T. Take off our orcish helm, and then we could actually fight this acid blob without worrying about our stuff being corroded. So we kill the acid blob, we're splashed by the acid blob's acid, but at least our stuff isn't corroded. And we'll just remember to wear our orcish helm again. All right, the next one I usually go to is this one here, which you can push down and over, down, and then we'll push it into this hole. Right, next Urukai, kill that. Actually, I feel like we can't kick the Urukai corpse here. Yeah, if we kick it, it just says thump. I think there was some stuff in there we might want. So we'll step on there. We have high boots already. So I think we leave all that there. And this is a normal goblin, so not too worried about that. In fact, we'll just eat it. Go back up. And the next thing you can do is actually clear these two boulders by pushing them down and over into this room, and then back this way. You might actually want to double check here. Just make sure nothing has moved on top of the holes there. I'm going to go ahead and fill this in. Might lose some stuff, but there's that scroll, which we really want. All right, so we'll kick the rest of that stuff over. And then we'll take this boulder, push it into this room and back over, and fill that last hole in. All right, so now we have Urkai wielding an Orcish short sword. So they deal a lot more damage once they're wielding weapons. You have to be a little careful about that. It reads the scroll. Okay, so mysterious force prevents the Urkai from teleporting. So we've actually identified, or the orc has identified for us, teleportation scrolls. We can check that with the / key. You look at your discoveries, and here we go on the third page under scrolls. We have Scroll of Teleportation. So that's been identified for us because we watched a creature use it. And then we can kill this Urkai. And oh, they had another one of those valuable scrolls, which could be good. I'll pick up another Orcish cloak just in case the one we have is cursed. We'll grab this food ration too. Now you do want to check behind all these boulders. So we'll just push them aside for now. So look behind them and then just push them to see if there's anything hiding underneath them. Looks like not, so we can move on. Hit numpad 5, and then to the right. Oh, and Valkyrie needs food badly. Okay. So I've missed us being hungry, and now we're weak. So our strength has gone down a little bit because we're weak from hunger. You need to make sure that you eat here, or else eventually you're going to start fainting, which is really bad. So let's go and eat something. We'll eat one of our food rations here. So we'll eat M. And now we're no longer weak, and our strength comes back. All right, so again, I don't think there's anything here we care about. This door is locked. So just looking at our inventory here, we don't have any way to unlock this. Do not have any way to unlock this door. So we're just going to have to kick it down, unfortunately. Which is too bad. But for now, we can just kick it open. All right, so we have a bunch of things in here. There's a new creature we've never seen before, which is the capital O. So that's an ogre. There's also a Roth here, and there's more Urkai. Ogres are pretty tough. I think by the time you see them, you're usually fairly well prepared to deal with them, particularly as a Valkyrie. But we do want to, we don't want to fight these multiple at a time. We have to be careful if they have weapons. So we're going to, see how this goes. I'm going to actually move aside here. The reason we're going to move to the side of the doorway here is because if things behind it, the creature we're fighting, have wands or missile weapons, they can actually attack us in this location. But if we're here, there's no diagonal to this space, so they can't attack us with missile weapons past the person in the doorway. Mr. Scott Free says, I recently ascended a monk. After seeing some of your monk ascensions from last year, it inspired me to keep a record of my intrinsics like you did. Hey, congratulations, Mr. Scott Free. That's quite an accomplishment. Monks are fairly difficult to ascend, actually. And your second ascension. Very well done. All right, so we're going to fight these things. So we kill the Urkai. The ogre picks up an Orcish helm and puts it on. So now we're going to see if we can kill this ogre. And we have a dog coming down the hall. Hey, thanks a lot for the follow. Aqua Funkalistic Booty Wap. Appreciate it. We're going to take a look at this D, because dogs range in their difficulty level quite a bit. And this is just normal dog, so it's not as dangerous as a large dog, but not as weak as a little dog. So I think we're not too worried about it. We could tame it though. And maybe I'll show that off. Hang on a second, I can let my dog in. Give it a tripe ration. Yes. Yes, we'll do that. Now that my dog's in the room. All right, we're going to fight this ogre and see how our hit points do here. So we hit the ogre swings her club and misses, and then we kill the ogre. So first one down, second one picks up a club, we hit it, it hits us, does about 8 points of damage, so we're still doing pretty well. We hit it again, it does some more damage, we're down to 47, and then we kill it. Welcome to experience level 7, you feel quick. So dog didn't want you to tame a new dog. Yeah, he was feeling jealous actually. So at experience level 7, Valkyries get intrinsic speed. So we're going to go ahead and mark that off on our little checklist here. Actually, I already had it marked off, which was a mistake. Now I'm wondering if this is actually current or not. Like, we don't have reflection. Pretty sure we don't have sleep resistance. I don't think we have telepathy. We might have telepathy. But now we have speed. Sorry, I don't know if maybe I played another game between and this got messed up. I'll have to go back and look at the previous episode and make sure this is up to speed. But I think we have, I think we got poison resistance, luckily. We start with cold resistance. We start with stealth, and we just gain speed. So these ones I know we have. Tame the dog and name it whatever name your dog has in real life. They both showed up at the same time. It's a sign. But then I'll feel really bad if this dog is killed. But maybe I'll just leave him somewhere safe. All right, so we have 2 Roths. We'll fight them, and we seem to be doing fine here. Our hit points are not going down that much. So I'm going to show you there's 2 things you can do to tame a dog. There's a fortune cookie or a tripe ration. Let's actually try the fortune cookie because I don't think I've shown that off yet. I'm going to throw, what is it again? Capital D. Throw capital D to the left. Oh, actually didn't work. What if that only works if the dog is hungry enough? Oh, it's peaceful. Okay. So throwing the fortune cookie at it made it peaceful but not tame. All right, so that it sort of worked. We're going to fight this other ogre. Oh, battle axe. Okay, so that should probably make you think twice. If you're not strong like we are, and you see an ogre with a battle axe, you should maybe think about retreating. I think we can still take this, but you'll see it's going to do a lot more damage. All right, we were able to kill it though, so we weren't able to show off all the damage that was going to do. We'll go here. Many objects. Let's kill these Roths first. Kill the first one. Kill the second one. And then I'm going to hit comma. You see there's a battle axe, 2 clubs, orcish helm, iron shoes. There's another orcish cloak. If we can carry it, we'll pick it up. I mean, one of these could be uncursed. Slime mold, food ration. All right. Maybe we'll tame this dog. So throw the tripe ration at it. So TH down. Wow, that's interesting. It didn't get tame. So clearly I don't know the full mechanics behind this, because usually tripe rations will always tame a dog, but I guess it wasn't hungry enough. Name the dog Gnarls Barkley. Okay, I'll do that. It missed the dog. It should still tame it though. We're going to call this dog Gnarls Barkley. So capital C to call, M to name. Peaceful dog, I call it Gnarls Barkley. Oh. All right, so this is actually really interesting. Andrea points out that dogs are harder to tame on the full moon. So animals are more wild. Dogs are more wild because of the full moon, which is really interesting. Try one more time. I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, it misses them. If they don't pick it up and eat it, they're not going to get tame. But at least it made it peaceful. It's actually probably safer for the dog to be peaceful. I think just dogs are... Let's actually take a quick look at the Wikipedia page for full moon here. All right, during a full moon, your base luck is increased by 1. Were creatures, especially at night, will usually be in their animal form. Dogs will howl at night when chatted to. And you have a chance of not being able to tame dogs at night. Failed attempts will still pacify them, and you can try repeatedly. Ah. So it looks like we could probably tame it if we threw a tripe ration at it multiple times. We could try that. Just for out of curiosity here. I don't know what the chance is, but so again, we'll throw H. Still not succeeding here. Yeah, I don't know. It says you could try repeatedly, but it looks like it's just not happening. All right, let's go to the next level. All right, so it's level 3, one of the 2 levels. So you just need to go up and push this boulder over first, and then you can push this boulder in. Second, I usually clear this one. Now you can push this boulder up here, and then push this boulder up and this one over. And that's going to give you enough room to push this boulder over here and then down. I do want to point out one thing. There are a few special rules in Sokoban. We can't push these boulders diagonally. So normally you can push boulders diagonally. Also, we can't squeeze past boulders like you normally could. So you have to go around this way. Then we go up and we push this one over. Oh wait, hang on. That's wrong. Next, we're going to push this one down. And now we can push this one over. And down. All right, next we can, I'm going to use the numpad 5 here. We can actually do these 2. Oh, there's the wand. Gordian Tangles asks, if you cast stone into flesh on a boulder and then eat it, is that cheating? And I think it is, but I actually don't know the answer. So let's go ahead and engrave test this tin wand. So capital E, we write XXX, and then we're going to write with the tin wand, and write XXX. And so nothing happened. There's no special message there, right? So if there's no message, it could be one of any number of wands. So we're going to go, and they're usually less exciting wands. We can go ahead and call it. So C, O. We're going to call that Shift P tin wand. Call it tin no message. Just to keep track of that. All right, so now we can go down here, push this boulder down, over, and we'll solve that one. And next one from here, we can go over and down. Sorry, I need to probably change my settings a little bit. Make this. Um, that's probably fun. It just seems like a lot of characters. So we can push this boulder over, get behind it, push it back out, and then we can clear it. Oh, we got a bunch of bats here. They're not very dangerous. Okay, so we have a couple red Z's here. I don't think we've seen these before. These are just dwarvish zombies. We'll take a look. Dwarf zombies, gnome zombies are not very dangerous in vanilla. So we can just go ahead and hit these, kill them. They're quite slow. Their bodies are not safe to eat. In general, they're not safe to eat. So now we can push this boulder up, which is going to give us the opportunity to push this boulder down. Welcome, Bubasti BR. There's an old game called Sokoban that used this mechanic of moving boulders or boxes to secure places. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, here we go. Fire ant. So I think we're totally fine against this fire ant, but a couple things to be mentioned about fire ants. One is they do fire damage, which can do a lot of damage to you, so it can actually be really dangerous. It can also make your scrolls and potions be destroyed. So to be completely safe here, we can actually drop our potions and scrolls. So if you do a Shift D for drop multiple things, and just hit F and G for scrolls and potions, we can actually select all of these with the comma. We just drop all these scrolls and potions on the ground. And then you get this message, you're on fire. And at this point, often your potions and scrolls would start to burn and explode. But we dropped them on the ground, so they're safe for now. So now we need to kill this thing, so we kill it. It doesn't drop a corpse. If they do drop corpses, then they're good to eat because they can actually convey fire resistance, which is very useful. So we can push this boulder over. Oh, actually, let me double check that I cleared that other one. Yeah, I did, okay. So this boulder over and down, and clear that. We just need one more. So there's actually multiple boulders you could potentially grab here. I usually push this. Oh, try and push this one over. Yeah, push this over. There's a newt there. I can go ahead and eat that. Feel mild buzz. So eventually, from time to time, you will go blind from eating food, but it's very temporary. Just wait a few turns here. I should do N10S and wait until we're not blind anymore. Another tripe ration we can pick up. We can go ahead and grab any one of these boulders. I guess we can do this one. And we'll push this one down to solve the last hole here. And there's one more bat we need to kill. And these doors are always locked, so we'll go ahead and kick that down with K. And here we go, more soldier ants. So again, beware. They can be very dangerous. I think we're fine with our AC of a -3, but we'll give it a try. Misses, stings, so we did 4 points of damage. Hits, misses, stings, bites, stings. Yeah, so we're actually down 19 hit points already. And we kill it, finally. We're going to double check what this D is. It's just a jackal, so they're not too dangerous. You're going to be worried about things like werewolves. There's a fizzy potion, and there's a jackal corpse here. There's no other creatures around, so we can go ahead and eat this jackal corpse. I'll grab this ring and this food ration. And we're on to the last floor of Sokoban. So The last floor of Sokoban's a little different. There's this big room here, which is the Sokoban Zoo. It's going to be full of monsters, which can be very dangerous. There's 3 doors. 2 of them have rooms that are empty, and one of them will have the Sokoban prize, which can be one of 2 very useful items, either an amulet of reflection or a bag of holding. And maybe a little tech, it's a little like a kind of side note, but which level you get here will inform you which prize you're more likely to get. So this shaped level is more likely to give you the amulet of reflection than the bag of holding. But there's still a chance for either. So we will work on solving this Sokoban level, but this door is locked, and kicking it open will wake up everything in this room. So we might want to actually go find a means for opening this door without kicking it down before we go into the zoo. All right, so this one's one of the tricky ones to solve. So what we will actually want to do is we want to start by pushing the boulder up over to the right here, and we push it up until it's right next to side by side with this boulder. Then we push this boulder up 1, so it's side by side by the next one, and then we push this boulder up 2, so it creates a little line here, and then we push the middle one up, and you get this sort of zigzag shape here. And now that you've cleared a space to this boulder, you can push this one over this way to the side. Pick up that clove of garlic, which is some food, and the ring. And now we're going to push this boulder to the left, and we're going to make a little room here out of the boulder. So we push this one down 1, and push these 2 up 1 each. So you have this little like 2x3 kind of room here, which is going to be important. And now we can go over here to the left, push this boulder up. As a food ration, we'll push it back down. And now we can clear this boulder. And you'll see that there's strangely, there's another boulder right here, which there shouldn't be. So that's one thing about Sokoban is when you first enter Sokoban, you'll see all the boulders. So that's actually something special in the Sokoban levels that won't happen on any other levels. Like normally when you enter a level, you don't know the layout, you don't see all the items. But in Sokoban, you're going to see all the layout of the level, and you're going to see all the boulders. So this boulder just appeared, right? So that means that this is not actually a boulder. This is a mimic. And in the last level of Sokoban, this is guaranteed to be a giant mimic. There can be 2 giant mimics. Giant mimics are dangerous. I think as a Valkyrie with Excalibur and decent armor class, we're pretty safe to take this on. But they're dangerous. They do a lot of damage. Also, you stick to them, so you can't easily escape. You get stuck to a mimic and you're ill-equipped to deal with them, then you're going to want to engrave Elberth. And that will scare them off. They'll let you go, and then you can get away. So I'm going to go to attack this. Now, normally you just would try and push the boulder, but what you can do is you can hit F. F stands for forced attack. So we're going to hit F, and then we're going to attack, force attack up and to the right, so we can get this first attack off here. Oh, sorry. That's F for fire. So it's actually Shift F, right? Yeah, Shift F, and then up to the right. All right, that's a forced attack. Okay. So Shift F, up and to the right, and we can get a swing off on this giant mimic, and then we're going to hit it again. And it hits. It already did 25 damage to us in 2 hits there. So that's quite a bit. But then we kill it. And then we're going to push the boulder into this hole. We're not going to try and kick things off of this hole. Kicking things on this level has a chance of waking up things in the zoo. So a zoo is a room in NetHack that's full of creatures, and they all start off asleep. So that can really be an advantage to you in that you can fight them one at a time, or even not at all. But if you do things like kick items, you are going to start to wake the things up in here. So we're not going to kick anything on this level. Instead, we're just going to push this boulder into the hole in the floor. Next, we can push this one down twice. 1, 2. We've made this nice little space behind it, so we can push it back up and clear this. And we've found the next dangerous creature, which I get to put onto our list here. So this is a Leocrata, which is a red Q. Take a look at it. So Leocrata. Did I spell that right? No. So the O. Urkai are black, lowercase o. Roths are brown Qs, red A, yellow A, and this is blue A. So let's take a look at Leocrata. They're fast, and they do a lot of damage. Yeah, so here they are. Claw, bite, 2d6, 2d6, 2d6. I think we can take it. But let's take a look at our inventory here and see if there's anything we can do to sort of help ourselves make this easier. So we could throw some weapons at it at range as it's approaching us to try and soften it up before it gets to us. That could definitely help. We do have a wand of teleportation, which we could use. That's about it. So, and there's always Elberth. So if we get to a lot of trouble, there's always Elberth. I don't love that we're already damaged here. We're going to go ahead and do that F for fire, because we remember we quivered those shurikens last time. So I'm going to F to fire, down. Shuriken misses Leocrata. Again, F, down. Hits Leocrata. Leocrata misses, and hits. Down to 34 HP. Yeah, and Mr. Scuffrey is correct. Another thing we can do to escape here is we can actually drop through a hole here. I should have pushed the boulder over earlier to actually facilitate that, but we can always teleport this Leocrata away and then drop through the hole to heal. I'm actually thinking about Elberthing here. Let's swing once more. Yeah, so here we go. We hit, misses, bites, hits, bites, misses. Okay. So it got, because it's fast, it got 2 series of attacks against us at once. We're down to 22 HP. So here is now the point where it could definitely kill us in a single round of combat. So here is where I would try Elberth or teleportation. Let's do Elberth. Well, so we'll do Shift E, dash, Elberth. We'll see if we do this successfully. And nope, we failed. Let me show you what that looks like. So if you do the colon, you'll see they wrote Elberth, but with a Y instead. So there was that 1 in 4 chance about that you fail. So now that we're down to 11 HP and we failed to write Elberth, I think now we teleport this Leocrata away. So we're going to zap R. So Z, R, we're gonna zap down. And so it disappears. It's somewhere on this level. So it's still a problem. But we can go ahead and push this boulder to the right here. And then we can actually just drop through. And now we're on a different level than the Leocrata, so we can actually heal up. So actually might be a decent time to go do the Dwarvish Mines. So there are two reasons for that. One is this Leocrata is a problem that we're not really prepared to deal with yet. And secondly, we don't have a way to open that door into the zoo quietly, which so we really want to find a key or a pickaxe or something. Hey, Shadow Rider, welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and do N99S here, which is just a way to pass a lot of time. And we're going to try and heal up our HP. So you see we're up to 27 again. We'll do that again, N99S. We're up to 42. So I think that's decent to move on. And we're going to go down and back to the Gnomish Mines now. We'll come back when we feel better prepared to deal with that Leocrata. So that's something, a strategy that's pretty important in this game. If you run into things that you really feel like you can't deal with, that's a good opportunity to, like, you can always run away and come back when you're better prepared. So don't feel like you have to fight things that are difficult. You should always have a way to escape from them. I'm just gonna kill these hill orcs here. I guess I'm being a little bit overconfident here, just wading into them, but they're, compared to a Leocrata, they're really not a big deal. Maybe took a couple hits I didn't have to take there, but we're going to move on. So Zen Burning is asking about how to get an artifact weapon. Oh, it's a large cat. So let's actually tame this cat. I'm going to throw. Let's try the fortune cookie. So throw capital D. A large cat devours a fortune cookie. If we look at it, it's now a tame large cat. So if you sacrifice corpses at altars, and I didn't talk about this when we saw the altar before, because I think it's a strategy that we don't need to take advantage of as a Valkyrie. There's a chance that your god will grant you a gift. If you're a barbarian and your god decides to grant you a gift, then you're going to get this artifact battle axe called Cleaver. But you're not guaranteed to get it every time you sacrifice. So there's some chance that your god will grant you a sacrifice gift, but you have to do it multiple times before you get an artifact weapon. Shadow Rider points out again that sacrificing for an artifact weapon might be important for Valkyrie soon, because in 3.7 they no longer start with a longsword, so getting Excalibur is going to be a lot harder. So I don't think we've seen mains before. Mains come in large packs, in large groups. They do have 3 attacks, but they're quite weak and they're slow, so they're generally not a problem. If you see them when you're fairly low level, they can do quite a bit of damage, so just, be aware that they have 3 attacks. Let's go ahead and drop a few Orcish cloaks here, because we don't have a cloak. So that one's uncursed, because the cat stepped on it. We'll drop the second one. Oh, sorry, I didn't. All right, so none of these are cursed so far. So that one's +0. This one is also +0. And the cat hasn't stepped on the other one, I don't think. So it might be cursed. Which would mean a negative enchantment. All right, so we have a +0 cloak on, that's fine. So is that our friend, the unicorn again? I'm just curious actually if my cat will attack it. Probably not. Oh, it is attacking it. So there is an advantage here to letting my cat kill his unicorn. It's not guaranteed to kill it, but unicorns have unicorn horns. Oh, nice. Okay. And unicorn horns are very, very important. Yeah, so we're going to let our cat kill it. It's actually going to eat the unicorn corpse, and then we're going to grab this unicorn horn. Yeah, so unicorn horns are very, very useful. So we talked about eating poisonous corpses to get poison resistance. Eating poisonous corpses will damage your strength. And in 3.6.6, which is the version we're currently playing, you can actually apply a unicorn horn to restore any attribute damage. So you can eat corpses to gain poison resistance, and then you can apply your unicorn horn to restore those abilities. Also apply the unicorn horn to remove status effects like blindness, being stunned or confused. So we have 2 cats now. Yes, and in version 3.7.0, which is still in development, they have changed unicorn horns. So now they no longer act like a restorability potion. They don't restore your attributes. They still remove effects like being stunned or confused or sick, but they won't restore attribute damage. You need a potion of restorability for that. All right, we have 2 kitties here. And we're going back to the Gnomish Mines. So let's go here. And let's get those cats. Which cat is this? That's our large cat. I wonder if the other cat lost some tameness because we left it behind, and that's why it's not following us as closely. Again, underscore, less than, period, which is going to bring us to the upstairs. We're getting hungry, so we need to eat. We'll eat that cream pie. Actually, let's eat the slime mold first. All right, so you see now it says black, rotten food, everything suddenly goes dark. So instead of just waiting for that to go away, now we can actually A for apply, and it was capital U. And it might say nothing seems to happen. That's fine. Just repeat it. So A, Shift U. And then the second time we try, it says, you can see again. So it removed our blindness, that status effect, the second time we tried. And in fact, I'm going to adjust this unicorn horn to a letter which I'm familiar with. So adjust is another extended command. So that's Shift 3 AD for adjust. Right. We're going to adjust capital U, Shift U to lowercase u. All right. So I always like to have a unicorn horn on lowercase u just because it's easy for me to remember and I use it all the time. All right, they're traveling down. And we'll wait for our cats to show up here. And we have another D. Let me just make sure it's not something like a werejackal, just a coyote. Yes, unicorns are very difficult. They hit a lot. They hit hard, do a lot of damage. So pets definitely helps kill unicorns. Zen Burning asks, a large cat compared to a kitten? Yeah, they're much stronger. Your kitten will actually grow up to be a large cat if it kills enough creatures. Let's go to kitten. And so kitten has does a bite 1d6 and AC 6 and level 2. Next up is a house cat. They do again d6, but their AC is 5 and their base level is 4. And then if they're a large cat, then their bite does 2d4, so more damage, and their base level is 6 and their AC is 4. So they get a lot stronger as they go up, and also their hit points go up. All right, so let's go to this next upstairs. Just let our cats come here, follow us. Where's the other one? I'll do a N10S. Kitten is, there it is. So here we have the second downstairs. So that's the downstairs to the Gnomish Mines. So we'll go down to that downstairs. And let's let both cats come over here. And they're there. And down we go. All right, we're back to the Gnomish Mines. I'm going to adjust again. So again, Shift 3, AD for adjust. I'm going to adjust the lantern. Oh, it looks like it's already where I like it. So brass lantern on L. Let's actually adjust the towel. So it's Z. We'll adjust that to T. I like the towel on T. I'm going to press A for apply and L for the brass lantern. That's going to turn this light on. So there's a question here about the dice rolls shown with their attacks in the wiki. Like, how do we know how hard it is for something to hit you? It's going to be based on their level, I think. And Zen Burning says that taming dogs on the full moon is only a 1 in 6 chance, so that's actually quite small. Let's see if this actually. When a monster attacks you, a d20 is rolled. So the target number is 10 plus your AC plus the monster's level, the number of hit dice they have. So for instance, for our kitten to hit us, it would be, their target number would be 10 plus our AC is -3, so a 7 plus I gotta go back to kitten, sorry. Monster level of 2. So 9. So they have to roll a 9 or less on a 20. So they hit about 50% of the time. And then the large cat, it's a base level of 6. So that's a 10 plus -3 is 7 plus their base level of 6 is 13. So they need a 13 or less. So they hit closer to 2 out of 3 times. All right. So let's go ahead and check this out. A lot of things in the Gnomish Mines will be peaceful. Yes, that's a peaceful hobbit. But our kittens are going to attack them and kill them anyway. Oh, this hobbit actually had some stuff, so let's go check it out. Sling and another elven mithril coat. So this is our second elven mithril coat. I'm going to put it over here and drop it. Let's see if it's cursed or not. Beginning to feel hungry, so let's eat. We'll eat that clove of garlic. All right, so let's move on. Here we see a bunch of things here with our infravision, even though it's dark. These are all peaceful. It's actually a really good way to get to level up your little dog or your kitten, because they'll come in here and they'll just eat, kill all these gnomes. So that's a gem we already know is blue glass. 2 orange gems, we can pick them up, I guess. So you can let your kittens attack these. There's going to be a guaranteed tool on each level of the Gnomish Mines, which is one reason to come into them. So here's the tool that was generated for this level, which is just a whistle. So whistles can be one of 2 things. It can be a tin whistle or it can be a magic whistle. It's pretty easy if you have a pet, or regardless, it's pretty easy to identify because you just apply it. So A for apply, Shift X. And if it says you produce a high whistling sound, it's just a tin whistle. If it says you produce a strange whistling sound and your pets are teleported to you, that's a magic whistle. Magic whistle is much more useful. But this is just a tin whistle, so we'll call it C, O, and then it's capital X for whistle. We'll call it tin, and we'll just drop it, because tin whistles are not very useful. A kitten bites the gnome, so a kitten grows up to be into a house cat. So just like I was talking about, the kitten will kill the gnomes and eventually grow up into a house cat, and if it keeps killing things, it'll eventually grow up into a large cat. And you can see what these gnomes have. They often have darts. Darts are pretty good, thrown weapons. They're fairly light, so all right, here we go. You feel your magical energy drain away. So traps are another thing you're going to see a lot of in the Gnomish Mines. So this one is an anti-magic field. So it actually reduced our power from 18 to 12. I'm beginning to feel hungry again, so we'll eat that cream pie. If you're wondering, what should you eat first? And if you really want to min-max, you can look at the comestibles article on the wiki. And it actually has a pretty comprehensive table here of everything. And you can actually look at, so we can, nutrition to weight here, sort by that. And you'll see, so that's going to give you sort of an idea of what gives you the most nutrition, per unit of weight. So the absolute best is a lembas wafer, followed by pancakes, followed by lumps of royal jelly, followed by eggs, although that's with an asterisk here because eggs go bad quite quickly. Followed by tins of blessed spinach, blah, 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 down to food rations are 40. And then, most things are, less than, or like food rations or worse. So fortune cookies are equal. But yeah, cream pies are much less nutrition per weight than a food ration. So you should probably eat those first. Yeah, so if you really want to min-max your weight, you probably want to eat things in reverse order of nutrition to weight. But it's not a big deal. All right, so let's continue exploring this level. If you really want to be careful, you can search for traps, because in the Gnomish Mines, you're likely to find a lot of traps and some dangerous ones too. But we're just going to kind of risk it, and we're going to walk around. Another thing that we have to our advantage here is Excalibur. I think I did talk about this last time when we got it. Has automatic searching and improved searching. So we may be able to find traps just by walking around with Excalibur wielded. So All right, we're going to keep exploring. And we found the downstairs. Again, I'm just going to poke my head down here. It is a lit up level, which is nice. I think we already found the tool. We need to get our kittens though, so we're going to go back up. Maybe I'll search a little bit more here and see if there's anything else of interest. A bunch more gnomes. There's some food here. It's a food ration. And there's a cave spider. So this is another one of the creatures that will hide under things. So this cave spider was hidden under a violet gem. They're not terribly dangerous. And in fact, they're one of the safe ways to get poison resistance. So I'd recommend eating them if they drop a corpse. All right, cyan potion, violet gem. I think we actually know that the violet gem... Okay, so here we saw a message. The Gnome Lord drinks a sky blue potion. The Gnome Lord seems more experienced. So the Gnome Lord drank a potion to gain level, and we saw it, so now we've identified that. If we hit the backslash and go down to potions, now you'll see that potions of gain level are identified, they're sky blue. There's another cave spider up here. We'll attack it and kill it. And yeah, I was saying, I think we know violet glass already. Let's take a look. Yeah, so we know violet gem called glass. So that means this other gem that we have, this other violet gem that isn't called glass, has to be valuable. So we can actually name that. So again, C, capital C, O, V, we'll call this violet valuable. So we know that that's something useful. And actually, yeah, a valuable, an amethyst has some very niche uses. Here's a plate mail, which is interesting. It does actually have better AC than what we're currently wearing, but it weighs a lot more. So I think we're going to stick with our Elven mithril here. So let's explore a little bit more here, and then we'll head down. And we're actually letting our cats get a little bit of experience points here. That's right. An amethyst can turn a potion of booze into fruit juice, which is sort of a way to identify them, and also the potions. All right, so here's a potion. There's also a boulder here, which in the Gnomish Mines means that there's got to be a boulder trap around here somewhere, which you might run into or not. Boulder traps can be very dangerous if you're a low-level character. There we go. Click, you trigger a rolling boulder trap, the boulder misses you. So there are 2 fortune cookies on there. All right, this looks like this is pretty well. So one thing you can do, I mean, we know where that boulder trap is, but you can actually disarm it just by pushing the boulder out of the way. So if we push it somewhere where it's not in line with that trap, it can no longer go off. We're actually getting pretty lucky with the valuable gems here. We don't have any way to identify them, but we do know that a lot of these gems we have are valuable gems. There's 10 more darts. Probably dropped by another gnome. And let's head to those stairs. I think we're happy, have explored this pretty much fully. We have to wait for the cats, so we'll do N10S and just wait for these cats to come by here. All right, so you feel tough. You've been leading a healthy lifestyle. So your constitution just goes up over time, which is nice. Maybe bring this cat down and find the other one. So leave this house cat down here. Go get our large cat. I don't know where. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah. The keys are being shown by something. It's called Keycaster. It's like this. It's free, so and it works pretty well. All right, so we're gonna go down. So we have both cats down here, so we can go explore this level. And I'm going to A for apply, L, and we're gonna turn the lamp off because it's lit. This floor is lit up, and we want to save the battery of this lamp. Eight more darts, we'll pick them up. And a bronze plate mail, which is like plate mail, but probably even a little worse. So we're not gonna take that. 2 green gems. Again, I'm just gonna double check that this isn't like a werewolf or something. Just a jackal, so we're not too worried about that. I'm gonna let my cats eat that. All right, so here's a what's called a squeaky board trap. So it does nothing except wakes up any sleeping creatures on the level. I'm gonna go ahead and just put my head down here, and we'll come back up. I'm very excited to see that that left parens that's red. That's actually really, really nice. It's a magic marker. So we're gonna go get that. I'm gonna get our cats first. I'll talk to you about what a magic marker is in a little while. All right, here's another trap. It's a falling rock trap. If you're not wearing a hard helmet, it does a lot of damage. If you are wearing a hard helmet, it only does like 1 or 2 points. I'm picking up these gems just in case we end up with a way to identify them. I'm gonna finish exploring this. All right, so this is a dangerous trap here, which is a spiked pit trap. So it only did a couple points of damage, so it doesn't seem that bad, but the spikes can be poisoned. And this is the tool that was generated on this level of the Gnomish Mines, which is an iron hook, which is a grappling hook. I mean, there are uses for grappling hooks, but it's pretty, I mean, it's really pretty niche. Things like picking things up if you're levitating. I don't know. I'm sure people in chat will have ideas for how you would use it, but I almost never pick them up or use them. So here I think we don't have any way of getting over this trap without going over this squeaky board. We're actually going to go over it. My cats need to move out of the way. Oh, there's an orc shaman. We're able to kill it. That's a good idea. Gaston Delar says you can use it for taking stuff off the holes in Sokoban, which would have actually been useful if you don't want to have to kick things off. It probably is a quiet way to do it too. And there's lots of things that, you can do in NetHack. Okay, so here's another A. This is just a giant ant. So as far as A's go, they're probably the least dangerous. They still come in packs and can still end a character's life early on. At this point, we're not too worried about it. It's a lot less dangerous than a soldier ant. But that ant was in a spiked pit. And again, if you can't see a trap, you're thinking it's nearby, use the extended command terrain and then use the B option, which will actually just show you the map without the monsters or items, and then you can see where the traps are. So there's a spike pit here, which we don't necessarily want to walk into. So we don't really have a good way to get the cats over to the downstairs here. So I don't think they're going to want to go over this squeaky board. So until we have a way to dig around or disarm that trap, I think we just have to go down. Here's a new creature that we haven't seen before. It's a baby longworm. So they come in two varieties. They're both brown lowercase w's. Baby longworms are not very dangerous at all. Longworms are reasonably dangerous, and they're based off of the worm in Dune. If you've read the book or seen the movies, and they also drop a worm tooth that you can turn into a crysknife, which is an interesting thing. Yeah, I don't think the cats are going to come over here, so we're going to go on down, see if we can't find a pickaxe. All right, let's go grab that magic marker. I don't think anything else is going to pick it up, but this would be that. This would be the tool that was generated on this level. I'm just going to look at what's around here. Okay, so that's a baby crocodile. It's a baby crocodile, so we think it's still fine. Crocodiles are dangerous. Two giant rats is not a big deal. Dust vortex, I don't remember if we fought this before, but they can, I think we might have fought a fog cloud, but they can pick you up and engulf you, and then they can blind you. It's not a big deal. So we're going to hit it. It engulfs us. We're blinded. We destroy it, and we're blind. We can go and use our unicorn horn, and then we can see again. Let's fight this baby crocodile, and we kill it. Drop the emerald ring, and we'll fight these giant rats. And we're going to grab this magic marker. So why am I so excited about a magic marker? Well, there's some very powerful scrolls in the game. Largely these ones that have a cost of 300 are very, very powerful. And a magic marker lets you write scrolls. So you can take blank scrolls and you can use the magic marker to write scrolls that you've already identified. So that can be, it's actually one of the most powerful items in the game is a magic marker. And here's another wand. So again, we're going to engrave test this. So that's Shift E, dash, do XXX, Shift E, and we're going to engrave with capital X. You feel self-knowledgeable. So this is another one of the wands that automatically identifies. It's called Enlightenment. And this is actually going to be really useful for me because I forgot what our intrinsics were. But it's going to tell us all of our attributes here. You are unencumbered. You are wielding a longsword. You are skilled in longsword. You're piously aligned, so our god likes us. We're cold resistant, which we start off with. We are level drain resistant because we're wielding Excalibur. Also automatic searching for the same reason. You have infravision because we're a dwarf. We're stealthy. You are guarded. Why are we guarded? You are fast, you are lucky, you can safely pray. All right, so we actually don't have poison resistance. I've been going off of the fact that we got poison resistance early on, when actually we didn't. That's just something I made up. Let me just fix my intrinsics here. So this is actually really good to know. All we have for intrinsics is cold, speed, we are fast, stealth, you're stealthy, infravision, because we're a dwarf, And we don't have telepathy. That's everything. Yeah, so actually that's good to know that we don't yet have poison resistance. Why are you stealthy? Valkyries start with cold resistance and stealth, and then they gain speed at level 7. All right, don't need to add anything to the don't need to add anything to that. Guarded means magic cancellation level 2. Elven Mithril Coat provides MC2. Okay, thank you. So magic cancellation, I guess we should talk a little bit about what that is. So magic cancellation gives you a chance to resist a bunch of different things. So well, here's some examples like paralysis or drain level or disenchanting, disease, sleep, poison. Yeah, so here, like the Soldier Ant has 2 attacks, a bite that it does physical damage and a sting that does 3d4 poison damage. Magic cancellation protects against the poison from the poisonous sting. So, and I believe it's like, where does it say? I say it's like 80% chance if you have MC3. Oh, here it is. All right, so for 3.6.6, if you have magic cancellation 3, you resist these types of effects 90% of the time. If you have MC2, you resist it only 60% of the time. If you have MC1, you resist it only 30% of the time. And if you have MC0, you never resist it. So here we have an Elven Mithril Coat, so that gives us MC2. So we're resisting various bad effects 60% of the time. A cloak protection is one way to get I think the one way to get MC3 from a single item. But you can also add to your magic cancellation with a ring or a ring of protection or other sources of extrinsic protection. I only know a ring of protection for that. So any one of the things from this category plus a ring of protection will bring you up to MC3, which is very nice. All right. Thank you for explaining what guarded is. I guess I'll pick up these gems. You could probably ignore gems too and just be as successful. Okay. So he's got a message there. Your knapsack cannot accommodate any more items. So you can carry as many things in your backpack as there are lowercase and uppercase letters in the alphabet, basically. So we've used up every letter from A to Z and from capital A to capital Z and the $sign for coins. So once you've used up every letter, the game just tells you you can't pick anything else up. So that's why bags are really important. Different types of containers will allow you to carry a lot more things. I think right now there's a bunch of stuff we can actually drop here. It's like we have a single shuriken. We can drop that. We can drop this uncursed orcish dagger is fine. Anything else? And drop this iron hook. And so that gives us a few more spaces. Then we can pick up this scroll, which we do want to take with us. All right, a gray stone. Okay. So if you see a gray stone on the ground, you're going to want to kick it. So gray stones on the ground could be one of three things. Well, actually, one of four things. It could be a flint stone, which is just a normal stone, nothing special. It could be a luck stone, which is really, really nice. It is what prevents your luck from going down. So I said before, you can do things like throwing gems to unicorns or sacrificing things on the altar to your god will increase your luck. But over time, it's going to go back down to 0 again. If you have a luck stone, then your positive luck can go up and then will stay high. It actually won't go down over time. So it will no longer time out. A gray stone could also be a touchstone, which you can use to identify gems. Actually, I think we used one in the general store. We talked about that. And then the fourth thing is it could be a lodestone. To see if it's a lodestone, you want to kick it. Do K, or do kick it, and it moves, so we know it's not a lodestone. That trick won't work if you're wearing gauntlets of power, if your strength is 25, because if in that case you'll be able to kick the stone even if it is a lodestone. So just be careful if you're wearing gauntlets of power. Kablam! You triggered a landmine. Your movements are slowed slightly because of your load. You fall into a pit. So our leg was damaged by the landmine, so our dexterity went down. We're temporarily burdened because our leg is injured, and we fall into a pit. So that's one of the more nasty traps. We can go ahead and move our way out of it. There's nothing to do to, no easy way to cure leg damage. You just need to wait. Oh, so we hit a teleportation trap, and we were teleported over to this side of the level. Okay, so we actually can't get past this teleportation trap unless we can escape it, or if we get teleported to the right of it. Yeah, unfortunately, no luck. Another homunculus. Unicorn horn does not cure damaged legs. I think, strangely enough, royal jelly you can get from killer beehives does, which is kind of a weird niche use of royal jelly. But largely, you just need to wait for it to go away, and it went away pretty quickly. So finally, that teleportation trap teleports us to the right side, and we found the downstairs. So we're going to go ahead and go down. And okay, so we made it to Mine Town, but so there are multiple types of Mine Town. Let's actually go to that part of the wiki here. And we actually got unlucky here. So here are all the normal versions of Mine Town. They have guaranteed shops, so general stores and tool shops, lighting shops. This is all very, very useful. So see, this is another version of Mine Town. All of these have different shops, and they also have a temple with a priest. Grotto Town is another version of Mine Town. Bustling Town, Bazaar Town. But what we have here, and I can tell already by these iron bars here, is Orcish Town. So this is sort of an unlucky thing to happen. If you hit Orcish Town, you're not going to have any shops. All the shopkeepers have been killed. There are a bunch of orcs in there, and the doors, the entrances have all been sealed off with iron bars. So we can't even get in there without a pickaxe. And if we did get in there, there's not really going to be anything of use besides a bunch of orcs, and there's going to be an unaligned altar in there as well. But we've already found an altar, I believe. If we look, yeah, on level 3, we already have an altar to tier. So Orcish Town is not very useful. So if you see that, if you see this sort of a bunch of orcs, if you see named orcs like this, that's another thing that will happen with Orcish Town, is you'll see named orcs. That will tell you that you found Orcish Town, and not anything good. So we're gonna leave. No particular reason to do anything with Orcish Town. If you already have an altar, if you haven't found an altar, then you can use Orcish Town. If you kill all the orcs, then you can secure yourself an altar, which can be of use. All right, so we're going to go back to our cats here. And so I'm going to go over this trap again. All right, there's our cats. Bring them back up here. We can use our cats to help us kill that Leocrata, which is really the problem. And we can also go to the general store and check out if this stone we found is anything good. Let me double check. I think I named touchstones already. Actually, I didn't name it. So let's actually do that test again. I think I did mention this when we were in the store. But you can actually rub the greystone. So extended command rub G greystone, and we're gonna rub it against our sword, which is A. And yes, we see this scritch sound. So we know that that is a touchstone. We can actually call it Shift C O. We're gonna call G a touchstone. All right, so we can use that to identify glass or things that aren't glass. We can identify by applying it onto gems like this, and you see green streaks on the stone. So that means that that could be it's some sort of soft gem. It could be a valuable gem that's soft, or it could be glass. But if you want to see things that are valuable for sure, then it would look like, so we think this black one, you make scratch marks on the stone. So if you make scratch marks on the touchstone, you know the gem is hard and can't be glass. All right, there's the shop. We don't really need to do anything there, but we will go to this altar and just BUC test everything we have. So there again, I did __ to select the altar, and then period to go to the altar. And now I can do Shift D, Shift X to drop all items of unknown, bless, or curse status. And we're going to select everything. We drop everything. So those are, there's a black flash as 10 darts hit the altar. So that means those are curse darts. The fortune cookies are cursed. So you may remember we found those 2 fortune cookies on top of a boulder trap, a rolling boulder trap. Any items you find on top of a trap are guaranteed to be cursed. So even these 2 fortune cookies are cursed. It's an amber flash. That means that that scroll is blessed. That scroll of earth is blessed. That's a cursed scroll. And you don't have to remember all this either. When you finish dropping everything, you can actually escape out of this if you want. Just hit escape and it'll go out. Then when you pick everything back up, it's going to be labeled. It's going to be red if it's cursed. It's going to be green if it's blessed, and it's going to be white if it's uncursed. Pick all this stuff up. Again, you can just hit escape here if you want. You don't want to see everything. And we've picked it all up. So one thing you can do here is we know that there's one ring that's cursed. So we don't want to put the cursed ring on because we won't be able to get it off again. But the rest of these rings we can try on. Try them on for one round and just see if they self-ID. So like we can put on S here, capital S. So it's going to be Shift P, Shift S, put on our right ring. It doesn't automatically ID, so we're just going to remove it with Shift R, and we'll take it off. You don't want to leave it on for much longer than a round or two, because there are some rings that have negative effects. I'm thinking of like a ring of polymorph. Could polymorph into something you don't want to be turned into if you wear it for more than a couple of turns. But for a single turn, it should be pretty safe. Like maybe there's like a 1% chance or something that happens. Let's put on the B, capital B, and that does self-ID. So it's a blessed +1 ring of adornment. It makes our charisma go from 9 to 10. So it's really completely worthless. So try on the other one, O, capital O. Oh, and there we go. So this one ID'd. You start to float in the air. So that is an uncursed ring of levitation, which is extremely useful. We're very glad to see that. We take it off, and we float back down. And then the steel ring. That one doesn't ID either, so we'll take it off. All right. All right, so let's take our cats back down and finish. Actually, no, we don't have a way still to get into the zoo. I'm trying to think if there was anything in the shop we could use. It's a tin whistle. We knew that was a touchstone. Not seeing any tools in here. Huh. We'd like to have some sort of unlocking tool to get into that zoo without waking everything up. Let's go to the downstairs here. So underscore and the greater than key. And we'll wait for our cats here. I'll bring them over here. Hungry again, so we'll eat. Let's try eating a cursed fortune cookie just to show you what that's like. It tastes terrible. And it has a scrap of paper in it. Let your fingers do the walking on the keys. So these are the keys that you would use to move if you don't use a number pad. Where are those cats? This is why magic whistles are so useful. Bring one cat down. Oh, this is the wrong stairs anyway. Gotta go up to these stairs. Oh, I just killed a nymph, sort of without meaning to. Yeah, so don't just walk around like that. you might run into something you don't want to. But nymphs are pretty annoying. Like I don't know if we've run into one before, but they can actually steal your stuff and teleport away. We got lucky, kind of. You can kill nymphs in one swing of your sword if you have Excalibur. We got kind of lucky there that we didn't miss it and didn't steal things. The other thing to sort of point out is that it had this magenta potion, which is very likely to be a potion of object detection. So I usually like to call potions that nymphs have object detection, maybe with a question mark. So do COY, we'll call it object detection, question mark. If we see another nymph with the same potion, we can basically assume that it is object detection. All right, so we got one cat down. I don't know where the other one is. Did it go down here? I don't know where the other cat is. Oh, we forgot to eat. Let's eat something. All right, so we had that curse fortune cookie didn't really do much. Good day for overcoming obstacles. Try a steeplechase. We can eat a food ration too. Yeah, I don't know where our cat is. I'm very tempted to leave it behind. I don't know if is that the large cat though? Which one do we actually bring with us? The large cat, so I guess that might be enough to help us fight the Leocrata. So we're gonna bring this cat with us. Where is it? I don't know why it's, oh, there it is. Pets are a little bit tedious, so often I will abandon them, not leave them behind. But in this case, we actually do have a reason for using this cat, which is to help us clear out Sokoban. Maybe I'll actually explore this level, just in case. Oh, so we saw another footsteps of a guard on patrol here. So again, we can annotate this level. So, and we're going to call it vault. Just remember that there is a vault here. So a giant bat, that's no big deal. Kill that. Do N, 10S here. Here's someone counting money. That's just another sound clue for the vault. There's the downstairs. So again, I'm just going to poke my head down here, come back up. There's a leprechaun. Oh, it's waking up, so we'll throw our gold this way, I guess. Killed it, took its gold. Probably a secret door there, or a secret passage rather. There it is. You find a hidden passage. And I'm just sort of hoping we luck on some way of opening that door to the zoo without waking everything up. Yeah, Zen Burning says we need a leash. A leash is one of the ways to get pets to follow you. All right, so we're going to go to the... Oh, okay, here we go, killer bees. So here's our chance to get some poison resistance, possibly. So at this point in the game, killer bees are not terribly dangerous. But early on, they can definitely swarm you and kill a character early. And we actually are going to eat these corpses. So this should do some strength damage to us, but we can restore it with our unicorn horn, and it may 30% chance grant us poison resistance. So we'll eat it. Tastes okay. We finish eating it. No other message, so we didn't get any resistance or poison damage. I'm trying to kill these. Unfortunately, they didn't drop any corpses, so a little bit unlucky there. I think this is just, yeah, it's the other one. These other stairs. Zen Bernie asks, can your pets gain intrinsics? No, not in 3.6.6, but this is something that has been added to variants, and then I think was subsequently added to 3.7. Yeah, they can in 3.7. Yep. All right, so we're going to bring this large cat up. See if we can't tag team that Leocrata. I wonder if there's a cursed item here. Sometimes if there are cursed items in the doorway, the cat won't follow you. So you drop them here. I guess not. Come on. So we can also just try and fight everyone in the zoo, but that can definitely be dangerous. Oh, Raven. Okay. You hit the Raven bites, the Raven blinds you. So Ravens, they could be a little bit tough, but not for us at this point in the game, but they do blind you. And they can often come in large numbers. So that hobbit was killed. What if it dropped another suit of mithril? Nope, that one finally didn't. It does have an elven dagger though, which is interesting. All right. Is that peaceful or not? No, it's a golden naga hatchling. All naga hatchlings have a chance of giving you poison resistance, so they're generally worth killing and eating. Oh no. That's the problem about having a cat with you. They eat your corpses that give you intrinsics. All right, elf mummy. It shouldn't be too much of a problem to kill here. That's just an iguana, and that's a grid bug. Okay. Come on, kitty. We're about to go up to that level with the Leocrata here, so definitely want our cat with us. Come on. Let's try and get to go that direction. Wow. All right, finally. All right, where's that Leocrata? We do have a yellow light here. So these lowercase y's, there are two types. One you'll see, one you won't see, because they start off invisible. Yellow lights, they explode and they blind you. The explosion might actually wake up things in the zoo as well, which is not great. But what we can do actually is, I'll show this off. We have a towel. We do Shift P. We put on our T, which is our towel. We're now wearing a towel around your head you can't see anymore. Now if I just hit S a couple times, you'll see it explodes. You seem unaffected by it. So that yellow light exploded, but we were wearing a towel on our head, so We weren't blinded by it. So we can remove that towel again, and we can see again. All right, so where's that Lyricotta? It's around here somewhere. We just teleported away. I suppose we could have teleported it on the other side of the holes. There's a shuriken we teleported away as well. So it could be over by the zoo. In fact, it's looking like that's the case. So we get to just work on Sokoban some more here. Just make sure that the cat doesn't get in the way. All right, so we did those. Now we want to go down here, and gonna go all the way down here and do this middle one here. All right, and then now we can push these over. My cat will let me. And, oh. See, this is why having cats around when you're trying to solve Sokoban is very annoying. So we can solve these. Like all these should be pretty easy to solve. Should probably make the numbers disappear a little bit quicker. All right, we're weak, so we're need to eat here. So we get one of our 7 food rations. So after you've cleared everything that obvious from this side, now you can clear this boulder in this room. Then I usually like to do these two, so I can push this to here, and then we can go around to the other side. And push that out and up. And the same with the one on the bottom here. You just push it up in front of the doorway, go around, push it out one. Just make sure our cat hasn't found their way into that hallway. I'm actually going to make these disappear a little bit quicker. So the numbers are getting a little bit distracting. All right, after that, I usually go into this room and can push a couple ways you can do this. Push this one down here, and then this one comes up and is solvable. Let's see one of the zoo go in here. You see, you hear a sound reminiscent of a seal barking. So that's one of the zoo sound hints. Right, so you have a bunch of cave spiders here. Maybe one of them will drop a corpse and give us poison resistance. We'll see. They're really not very dangerous. You feel more confident in your weapon skills, so we need to enhance our longsword again. So that's shift 3, enhance. You'll see we're skilled now. If we push A, we are now most skilled in longsword. So that most word should clue you into the fact that you're as skilled as you can get in that weapon. Go to enhance here. Let's see, we're now an expert. You can actually be a master and a grandmaster as well. In not Valkyries and longsword, but other characters like monks in hand-to-hand combat. All right, so the next one I would probably do here as far as boulders is concerned is this one. And move that over here. Oh, okay. The energy vortex engulfs you. You feel your magical energy drain away. So here, actually, I don't know if anybody's been following Matt Colville, has been streaming NetHack, and very popular streamer. And one of Matt's Valkyries died to an energy vortex. So I think this is a very survivable situation, but I did want to point out why I think Matt died and why people die to these things. So let's go to energy vortex. So engulf, they do 1d6 damage shock, and they drain your energy. So they do small amounts of damage after they engulf you. This is not huge. But then you'll see here it says passive. Level +1 d4 shock. So if their base level is 6, then this would be 7 d4 shock damage. So that's between 7 and 28 points of damage passive. So what people generally will do is they'll actually attack this thing. They'll be engulfed in it, and they'll attack it in melee, and they'll take massive damage from the passive damage. Was it because the vortex reflected Mjolnir's damage back? Well, another thing about using Mjolnir against energy vortex is they're resistant to shock damage. So Mjolnir normally does an additional d20 damage of lightning, but the energy vortex is not going to take any additional damage. It's only going to take the base damage from the Warhammer and its enchantments, which is going to be a lot less damage. So if you're engulfed by a fire vortex or an energy vortex and you don't have the resistance that you need, you want to throw things at it. So we have a bunch of sort of the shuriken, we have a bunch of darts. We're going to start firing these at the energy vortex. You're going to take a much less damage. So we only took 3 points of damage there. If we attacked in melee, we would have taken a lot more. So it's going to continue. We're going to quiver some darts here. We're going to throw some darts at it. We get engulfed again. Our energy gets drained away. We take a small amount of damage here as well. And we'll start firing darts at it. Get expelled. All right, finally we destroy it. So we just throwing darts. We took very little damage here. We probably could have attacked it with melee once or twice safely, but I just wanted to show you that's the safe way to deal with energy vortices, is by attacking them from range. All right, large cat is killing the gray elf. I think we actually want to kill this gray elf ourselves. So elves are immune to sleep, and also if you eat them, you have a chance of gaining immunity to sleep as well. So I think we want to kill and eat this elf. So there is a corpse here, and a cursed elven broadsword. So we'll eat the gray elf corpse. Tastes okay. You stop eating it. You eat again. You finish eating it, and then you feel wide awake. So we got lucky here. And we got sleep resistance, so we can go ahead and add that to our intrinsics here. So we have now we have sleep resistance as well. This is just a kobold shaman, so easy to kill. And so the next boulder that's easy, trivial to complete here is this one. We'll push it against the wall and this way. Making sure our cat doesn't get in front of us. We have 3 boulders left, or 3 holes left. Still worried about the Leocrata, to be honest. Particularly if there's other things in addition. So next you want us to make a T shape here. So I'll push that over there. And that's going to make a little T shape, and that lets us peel off one boulder and push it through this doorway. What would happen if the cat did get in the way of the tunnel at the top? I mean, either you kill the cat or you, with like thrown weapons, which has some consequences in terms of your god being angry at you. Actually, I wonder if that actually is the cat. It might have actually happened. I thought I looked, but maybe the cat snuck in there. That could actually be the cat, because I don't see it anywhere else. You asked the question and it happened. So you either kill the cat and incur some anger, or you can break the boulder. You actually don't have ability to break the boulder. So I'll show you one thing we can do here. So I think that is the cat behind there. And we do have this wand of teleportation. In fact, we have another wand we can ID as well. So let's do that before I forget. Let's engrave with this ebony wand. This ebony wand is a wand of digging. That's actually very useful. You can engrave Elberth here. So engraving Elberth with a wand of digging, makes a semi-permanent Elberth. So it will last a lot longer than just writing in the dust. It will still, over time, wear away. But what I'm going to do here is, so we have a cat, and I'm pretty sure the cat's there. It's behind the boulder. I'm actually going to zap the wand of teleportation in this direction. It's going to teleport the boulder and the cat. We are going to incur a luck penalty, but we should be able to get rid of that. So, oh, interesting. The large cat is no longer tame. And throw the tripe ration at it and make it tame again. The cat gets teleported into the zoo would be maybe not the best because it would wake everything up. Or but we also want to use the cat to help us. Ooh, a bag. So if this is so let's go ahead and try this bag out. So I'm gonna pick it up. We're gonna apply it. Apply K. Okay. So unless no other message happened and this monster here, a lynx, just appeared. And if you look at your inventory here in tools, it's right here, K. It's a bag of tricks. So unfortunately, this can never be used as a container. So it's actually not very useful. It just, you apply it and you pull creatures out of it. So we're going to kill this lynx. Drops a scroll. And I'm going to do these boulders next. So there's another boulder just appeared here. So it's got to be a giant mimic, right? So again, we're going to do a Shift F to force attack it. Oh, you harmlessly attack a boulder? Did I fail to attack in the right direction? Should be down, right? That is almost certainly a mimic. I don't understand. Oh, no. That's not a mimic. That's the boulder I teleported from up here. So that boulder which I teleported from here went to here, which is actually pretty annoying because that's going to block me from moving these two boulders. I'll show there's a way to work around it, and I'll show that to you as well. Will give us another luck penalty though. But that's fine. All right, so I'll get to show off squeezing into spaces. So what we'll do is we'll squeeze into the space along with the boulder. And I'll just turn off the, no, I guess I'll leave it on. All right, we have a homunculus, that's not a big deal. So you really need to get into this space here so we can push these boulders out. So what you can do is you can actually, I'm going to take off all your armor. This is a little dangerous, but take off all your armor, and then you're going to Shift D, drop, and auto select every item. It's going to drop our entire inventory here. And again, you can just hit escape here if you don't want to watch the entire thing. So now we're not carrying anything. So we're actually going to move down into the space where the boulder is. Try to move the boulder, but in vain. However, you can squeeze yourself into a small opening. You see here a boulder. So now we're in the same spot as that boulder because we're able to squeeze in. And now we can push this boulder out. Yeah, and then we need to go pick up everything and put on our armor again because you don't want to be without your armor for too long here. Pick everything up here. All right, so pick everything up and we'll start wearing our armor. So wear all this stuff. All right, so, but now we've freed these two boulders that we need. In fact, we just need one, but there's that cat. So just make sure that cat doesn't get in front of us. And we're almost done with this Sokoban level. One more boulder. I think that cat's still in a bad place. I think if we can move this one here and then over and this way. Let's double check. Yeah, the cat's still in the wrong place. Get the cat out of there. Come on. You see that engraving has already disappeared. I can use this elven broadsword here. We can't. All right. I was going to think we could drop a cursed item to keep the cat out because they don't like to step on cursed things. Come on. This cat walks right across a cursed item, gets back in the way. No. You need to go down. Ooh, it explodes. You are caught in a blast of kaleidoscopic light. So this is the other lowercase y that I talked about. We weren't able to put our blindfold on because we couldn't see it. So black lights are invisible. They're displayed as black y's, lowercase y's, but they're invisible, so we can't see it, and they make you hallucinate. So now, when you hallucinate, if I hit S a few times, you'll see all these items and monsters are changing their characters randomly every time. So this golden N here is my cat. But it's not a big deal. We have a unicorn horn, so we can, and this is a status effect. So just apply U, and then it says everything looks so boring now. So it can be a really annoying and a pain if you don't have a unicorn horn, but with a unicorn horn, it's not a big deal. All right, we can get this boulder up here and past the cat now. And okay, so this is a boulder. This is the boulder that I teleported. This is going to be the other giant mimic. So here we're going to shift F and down. Oh, and we're not wielding Excalibur, so we punch it. So we dropped Excalibur when we were squeezing in. So we need to W, wield Excalibur again. And now we're going to fight this giant mimic. And we're able to kill it. And there's a murky potion here. We'll drop these curse darts, and we'll take the murky potion. All right, so we do have a way to get through this door, which is quietly, which is our wand of digging. The other ways would be any kind of unlocking tool, a key, a lockpick, a credit card, a pickaxe. You can use a pickaxe to break down a door quietly. So, but we don't have any of those things. We do have a wand of digging though. So we're going to zap E diagonally down in that direction, and that's going to destroy the door. And so let's take a look at what we have here. We have an ape. You're going to run into a lot of sort of powerful things here in this room that you probably haven't seen before. Apes are fairly strong melee creatures. They could be slightly worrying. They come in large packs. An imp is kind of annoying in that they have a low armor class, but they're not particularly dangerous. Yes, this is a rust monster, which rust monster can rust your armor and weapons if it's metal. Fortunately, Excalibur is rust proof, so that's going to protect us from that. This yellow light will, if it explodes, will wake up everything in this room if it isn't awake already. Lynxes we fought already, they're not too bad. There's a crocodile, it's not a baby crocodile, so it does a decent amount of damage with its bite. We have to worry about that. There are two Yeti, which are fairly strong. They're stronger again than apes. Paper Golem isn't too bad, and they actually drop blank scrolls, which could be useful in combination with our magic marker. Orc Captain is like the top level orc, but they're still not very strong. There's some creatures here which are hidden. We don't know what they are, but there's going to be things on every space here. So if you just see some gold pieces, it's likely that there's something that's hidden here. There's a wolf, which is sort of a next level up dog. Somewhat stronger than jackals and coyotes, but it's not a werewolf. And there's a large dog. So I don't know. It looks like these things are not awake. Would have expected some of these to be awake. It looks like they're mostly asleep. So we can peek in here and look at the rest of the things here. There's a freezing sphere, which is another thing that will blow up if you attack it and wake everything else up. So you have to be careful about those things. There's a lizard. We kind of want a lizard corpse, actually. There's some winter wolf cubs, which are not too difficult. Giant rat, easy. So rather than fighting all these things, I think we're going to, and these actually weren't hidden. These were just out of sight from the doorway. So I think we're going to fight our way through here and try and not wake everything up. So we do have stealth. We're a Valkyrie, so we start with it. So we don't have to fight everything in here. So we'll start killing things that we know we can kill easily. Like we'll kill this giant rat. We'll go in there. We'll fight this winter wolf cub, which shouldn't be too big a deal. Kill it in a couple hits. And then we'll kill this lizard corpse. We'll kill the lizard because we want a lizard corpse. Lizard corpses are important for a couple of reasons. Both in regards to cockatrices. We've not seen a cockatrice yet, but a cockatrice can turn you to stone either through their melee attack or just by hissing at you. Particularly if there's a new moon, this is a problem. If you have a lizard corpse in your inventory, then the cockatrice hissing is not going to turn you to stone. And if a cockatrice does start to turn you to stone, if you start to turn to stone, you can actually eat a lizard corpse or any acidic corpse to stop being turned to stone. So a lizard corpse, as weird as it may seem, is one of the very important items for you to carry around with you until the end of the game. We do need to drop some things here. So let's drop. We'll drop this shuriken. We'll drop the bag of tricks. We should drop some gems, probably. So let's drop, I guess I could see which ones are soft and drop those. Apply G. We'll drop all the soft gems. So like capital D is soft, so we'll drop that. It doesn't mean it's glass, but it means it's more likely to be glass. We're trying to make some space here. We'll rub these ones. You make scratch marks, so those 3 gems are all valuable, which is kind of unusual. And these 3 orange gems are also valuable. Wow. We got very lucky with valuable stuff. Anyway, we need to pick up this lizard corpse. And then we need to not blow up this freezing sphere. So I guess we fight the other winter wolf cub over here. We pick up a bunch of gold. Then we'll fight these lynxes. Crocodile will fight. I'm just sort of curious how much damage they actually do, because I remember it being quite a bit. This is not a baby crocodile. This is a grown-up crocodile. Babies do D4. Grown-ups do 42, and they claw for D12. So I think we still kill it, but yeah, we killed it. And there's a food ration here too. I guess we could try and pick it up. Can't. Okay. So now we need to try and open these doors. Okay, so we found the prize. When you see a stack of stuff on the floor, one of which is a scroll, you know that you found the prize. And here I would suggest that you turn off auto pickup. So Shift 2 or the @ symbol to turn off auto pickup. Because we don't want to pick up this scroll. We want to step on here. And you'll see that there's a scroll labeled Hakamache. It's going to be labeled something random, and a bag. So we actually got the less common prize here, which is a bag of holding. It's actually my preferred prize. So we take that bag. We need to drop something here. So let's drop, doesn't matter, the shuriken. So pick up the bag. We're going to call it, so C-O-M, and we're going to call it holding. And, oh yeah, I'm going to tell you about the scroll in a second here. But first, let me just adjust the bag M to B, because I always have my bag on B. I'm going to put into the bag our coins, our scrolls, and potions. And by default, you should always have your money, your scrolls, and potions in your bag, because they won't be destroyed or stolen by leprechauns. So they all go in there. Again, you can hit escape. Pick up the shuriken again. And we have this scroll on the floor, which is guaranteed to be a scroll of Scaremonster. The bag of holding is guaranteed to be uncursed. And I don't know if that's a Sokoban thing or just tools in general are guaranteed to be uncursed if they aren't generated in a bones file, which I guess we never talked about, or if they're generated on a trap. So tools in general are always guaranteed to be uncursed if you find them on the ground, unless they're on a trap or if they're part of a bones file. And a bones file, we haven't found one yet, but I can explain it briefly here. Is a bones file is if a previous character has died on a level, it's got to be at least dungeon level 5 or above, I believe. There's a chance that they leave a bones file, which means they'll leave all of their equipment and whatever killed them and the level as it was when they died will all be left and for you to find. So if you're playing on a server, it could be any other character, any other player and their character. If you're playing locally, it's only going to be a bones file of your own characters that you played previously. So this scroll here is guaranteed to be a scroll of Scare Monster. It's also guaranteed to be a cursed scroll of Scare Monster. So if you pick it up, it will actually turn to dust and be destroyed. So I like to leave it on the floor, and we're just going to do capital C to call it, and then F to call the type of an object on the floor, period. And we're going to call this Scare Monster. Andrew also confirms that the Sokoban amulet is also never cursed, which is good to know. And now we can pick up this food ration because we don't have any problem with inventory. So I'm just scanning this room to see if there's anything else we want to kill. We already got poison or sleep resistance, so we don't need to kill these. Don't need to kill these elves. Yetis would potentially give you cold resistance, but we started with that. This paper golem will give us some scrolls, so if we could get to the paper golem easily, looks like we can get to the paper golem through the imp and the green, the lichen there. As we can kill this, kill the lichen. I'll pick that up. Oh, I have to turn auto pickup back on. And now we can kill this paper golem and pick up the scrolls. I don't think there's anything else here we have to kill. So we're just going to leave. And I don't know where that Leocrata went. In fact, that's really weird. I don't know why it just disappeared. Did it fall down one of the holes, maybe? Oh, you know, it's in one of these rooms. The Leocrata has to be in one of these closets. That's actually really funny. We teleported it somewhere where it's stuck. That's one way to deal with it. All right, Kat, I guess I'll give you a chance to come with me. Would have been more funny if you opened the closet door and there it was. Yeah, there's a 1 in 3 chance there. I picked the wrong closet and got attacked by the Leocrata. All right. So we didn't get reflection. I'm actually put the coins into our bag of holding here. And actually let's put away these scrolls too, so they don't get destroyed. So we don't have reflection, so we're not survivable. But we did get the bag of holding, which makes our life a lot easier. So the next step is to get holy water. And so that's what we're going to do next. I'm actually going to leave the cat behind. Because, oh, so the cat fell down the hole, I guess. So that's why it wasn't coming. Put all the gems into the bag so you have knapsack space. Yeah, that's a good idea. Just put all this stuff away. It's nice to have a tidy inventory, more or less. So I should talk about bags of holding a little bit here because it's important. A couple of important things to know about them. So bags in general are very useful, and you saw why, because at some point you have 52 items and you can no longer pick anything else up. But they also reduce the weight of things you put into them. An uncursed bag of holding will reduce the weight of things by a little bit, and a blessed bag of holding will reduce the weight of things you put in it by a lot. But it also comes with a danger. So there are a couple things that you can never put into bags of holding. 3 things, actually. One of which is a bag of tricks. So you never want to put a bag of tricks into a bag of holding. You never want to put a wand of cancellation into a bag of holding. And you never want to put another bag of holding into a bag of holding. Any of those three things can cause the bag of holding to explode. And if it explodes in NetHack version 3.6.6, you lose everything that's in the bag. So just be really careful about your bag of holding, what you're putting in there. Don't put unidentified wands in there. Just make sure you're not putting other bags in there if they're not identified, and you'll avoid a lot of heartache. All right, so I think we're leaving the cat behind. And we're going to go back to the altar so we can make some holy water. Is this cat peaceful? No, that large cat is not peaceful anymore. We do have a trap ration. I think I'll throw it to it. And yeah, I think we're just leaving these. Is that my dog? I think this is my dog. Yep, Gnarls Barkley. See you later, Gnarls Barkley. All right, so let's get back to the altar. I'm just using the fast travel here to go quickly. So it's just underscore less than period. I think it's usually best to use fast travel, even if you're not trying to go fast. Because you're less likely to run into creatures when you don't mean to. We do need to eat here, so we'll eat the lichen corpse. Lichen corpses are always good to eat. They never go bad, but they're less efficient than other types of food. All right, there's a Roth. And kill that. I'm going to kill and eat it. And then we're going to go to the altar. And again, we can drop capital D, drop capital X, everything that we don't know if it's blessed or cursed. Pick it all up again. And we can actually take everything out. So here we go. A, apply, B, because I adjusted my bag to B. O for out. And then capital X, just take out everything that we don't know if it's blessed or cursed or what. Take all that stuff out. And then capital D, capital X, drop all that stuff. Just a BUC test everything. And pick all this stuff back up. And put them back into our bag of holding. So we want to make holy water next. So we have an altar. To make holy water, you need an aligned altar, or an altar that you can make aligned. And you need potions of water. So right now, if we look at our potions here, we have cloudy, cyan, emerald, fizzy, murky, swirly. We're looking for clear potions, and we don't have any clear potions. They're all potions of other sorts. So how do we make these into potions of water? Well, you need to dip them into fountains. So if we do, we did this before. If you do Shift 3, overview, you can actually look here, and looks like there's no fountains left until we get to the Oracle of Delphi. So we're actually going to go to the Oracle of Delphi and try and make some water, potions of water, and come back to the altar to make some holy water. But actually, I'm going to stop here because I think we've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in this session. So we've done the Gnomish Mines, we've done Sokoban. So I think we're tentatively in mid game now. I mean, I think after Gnomish Mines and after Sokoban, that's sort of what we consider mid game. So in these first two sessions, we've sort of gone through the early game and we've gotten to the mid game. So we're past the Gnomish Mines, we're past Sokoban. And Yeah, we're ready to move on.